and welcome to DCU Daily on Thursday. I think it's Thursday. I can't tell. The days just keep coming together. So, yes, hello. Welcome to today's DCU Daily. We are here to talk about all sorts of pop culture news on this wonderful little show we have. The first thing that we shall talk about is some projections for the box office report, a little bit. Mainly for major future endeavors, but neither here nor there. Then we have a bunch of MCU Weekly to talk about, mainly a lot of Spider-Man Brand New Day stuff, a lot of like teases and trailers, previews, behind the scenes, Tom Holland gassing us up and all that stuff. So there's that, a little bit of Avengers, a little bit of Born Again, then Movie Talk Madness, some trailers dropped for some rather interesting little films, not the ones you'd kind of expect, but still worthy to talk about. Then we're going to talk a little bit about GTA 6, as well as Brad Bird's upcoming passion project Ray Gun that he's been trying to get off the ground for the last 30-something years. Then apparently we are going to be seeing a little bit more of the mean one, Mr. Grinch, possibly. Then we shall talk TV Talk Terror, mainly why the Duffer Brothers' second show that nobody watched got canceled. And then we have our quick hits, monstrous amount of quick hits, so many quick hits. I'm pretty sure the quick hits can drink because there's so many, because there's over 21 of them. Then we have DCU Daily. Obviously, the biggest thing that came out today was the first reactions, the social media reactions for Supergirl. Are they positive? Are they negative? Well, we will be getting into that, of course. And then a lot of social media marketing for Supergirl, as well as the premiere in London. So, of course, all of that and more after this wonderful intro telling us that we are indeed Knuff. So, let's get into it and head into the show.
It doesn't seem to matter what I do. I'm always number two.
Right, Mr. I need to paint my abs on to get nominated. You don't see Robert Downey doing that.
You're kidding. You're kidding. I can't open the envelope without the...
Warner Brothers is heading back into the Matrix with a new movie in the works.
Wonder what other surprises are in store.
I want to be Bruce Wayne.
I like that. You're gonna love me.
There's the shot right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see
right there.
You look ridiculous. Well, not no more, he don't.
What, dude? I can barely understand you. Your accent's insane.
What the
Give me a hand up. Nope, I'm actually okay. Thank you very much. Oh, wow. Wow.
Welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome. There is actually a few people in the chat already. Monique, lovely to see you. Then we have Jordan in the chat, as well as Arcade and Smacky. Yes, we will be getting into those eventually, but not right now, because now it is talking about the news. But I'm, of course, your host, John. Dan will be in soon enough. And with that, let's get into box office report. Nothing major outside of Toy Story 5 coming out this week. So, and we've already talked about those projections yesterday, and there's probably going to be more to come in regards to what the actual numbers are with tomorrow, because it's only in Thursday previews today. With that, we are going to be talking about Disney's next endeavor, this time in the live action department, which is Moana. And just further proof that God hates us, it is expected to make $85 million opening weekend. Obviously, you know, this is just a projection, so take it with a grain of salt, but usually it's maybe a little bit under, maybe a little bit over, depending on the film. But considering that, you know, parents don't parent nowadays, and they can just stick their kids in front of a thing for 2 hours and be like, hey, that'll parent my kid. So that's what they're doing with this. That's what they're going to do with Minions and Monsters. So that's why this movie will unfortunately make money. So with that, Dwayne Johnson in his god awful like $3 wig from Kmart is back and fresh as ever. Um, but it is lower than expected. But considering they've barely marketed the movie, like I've seen again, I try to see a good diverse group of films at the box office usually. Like I'm interested in all sorts of things, but I have not seen a lot of trailers from one. I've maybe seen it like maybe half a dozen times, which, is maybe a little bit more, but not nearly as much as something like Disclosure Day, which pretty much every movie I saw a preview for that, and look how that turned out. That's expected not to make its money, not to be very profitable. It's expected to break even, just not be profitable. So with that, it's whatever. But with that, it may be a little bit lower expected, but it's still pretty damn good, especially, How to Train Your Dragon, which also did fairly well, which was 84.6 million. Um but yeah, I mean, I feel like the $85 million mark is still pretty good. Maybe not like the highest thing ever, but like still decent. I don't know, Dan, maybe I'm fucking being weird about this. I don't know. I feel like 85 is a good number. Like,
Yeah.
especially all things considering.
No, I think so. I think you that's a good start. 85. Look, here's the thing. We're still in that post-pandemic era where not every big movie is going to be guaranteed $100 million start. I think we kind of got used to it even before the pandemic. For just like, I think it was a 5-year period where it felt like there was a lot of movies that were opening to 100 million or more, especially like these big Disney properties. But 85 million US openings actually very respectable, John, because like you talked about Disclosure Day, that just had like the biggest original film opening for Spielberg of his career. But domestically, because that's the number we were comparing, like worldwide, Disclosure Day made 93 million. Domestically, it made like 44, I think it was, something like that. It was like roughly a little less than half that number was just the United States. So this is twice that much. So when you add into that, like, the numbers it's going to do internationally, Moana is going to get off to like probably a 150 million to $200 million start. So that's pretty solid. Like it's very respectable. It's not going to be as high as like Toy Story 5. It's probably not going to be as high as Minions, but it's really, really good. I think most movies and most directors will kill to have that kind of opening weekend. Yeah, so not bad at all, despite the terrible wig. By the way, air fried tri-tip, pitted Bing cherries, sunflower crunch salad with sweet onion dressing.
That is,
damn it, Monique.
That's a weird combination. I'd try it, but like,
hey Jordan.
but like, sure.
Hey Art, hey Spacky, hey Movie Spud. Do you think wearing this muscle suit hurts his ego? He didn't wear a muscle suit for Black Adam, but like I think for health reasons, because he had a big like heart, like a cardio, like vascular.
And I know he lost a lot of money.
So,
lost a lot of muscle for the upcoming Benny Safdie film that he's doing.
Yeah.
So,
like, let's be honest, Dwayne The Rock Johnson has been pushing himself to basically the edge of what his body's capable of for years. Nobody should be blaming him for, I don't know, toning it down a little bit, especially because like he's got young daughters, he's got a family. Like I'm sure he wants to be around for a very long time, and then to try to keep up with the kind of physique that he had been for years is just not tenable, even for him. So I'm happy that he's slimmed down a little bit. He's gotten himself to a weight and to a physical profile that I think is healthier for him in general, and like it's fine. It's like a freaking bodysuit. Like he's probably the only actor who would have actually been able to put on enough muscle to not need a bodysuit. But even then, John, it's like the version of the character in the animated movie was always gonna need to be like a little, larger than life. I don't think any human, no matter how roided up, not even that dude who's like 9 feet tall beating up Jack Reacher in that show, like could look like that what's the character Maui from Moana. Like it's just an unhuman kind of a figure. It's meant to be larger than life.
Yeah, it's almost like something's working better, work in animation better than live action.
Exactly, arcade. Yeah. I feel like I've mentioned this before. I feel like they should have done something like what they did with I know people kind of hated on it a little bit, but I really do feel like what they did with Will Smith's Genie in the live action Aladdin, not to that extent, but like you do a live action animation hybrid, so you do get the larger than life character profile. You try to make him look, because like if you can make him look as photorealistic as the Hulk, then you've done your job. Like like the Hulk is that too. He's this larger than life. Like
although
those body
someone
proportions
actually
don't match up.
brought this up,
Yeah.
but like I don't know if Dan, I don't know if you brought this up or somebody else brought it up. Well, they were like,
Yeah.
the Aladdin live action movie should have went full Bollywood. I'm like, oh, that's an interesting take. And I'm like,
Well, they had songs in it, but I'm like, it's that like, and yeah, it's the animated movie has that too. It's not.
No,
the-
I'm just saying,
yeah.
like, if they really wanted to experiment with it and really take it into a whole new world, then they could have, maybe done that. I'm like, oh, that's an interesting thing. I don't know if I agree with that because I never intend to watch the movie, but like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll see how this turns out. I mean, ultimately, like I said, $85 million opening weekend is very respectable. That's just the US number. You add in what it's going to do worldwide, like internationally, it's going to be probably in the neighborhood of 150 to 200 million, which is going to be one of the biggest openings of the year. So good for Moana, and then we'll see how people like it and what the critics say. So thank you guys for checking out the box office report.
Speaking of box office, well, pre-box office, I should say, with Spider-Man Brand New Day still breaking fucking records, and the movie ain't even out yet. Like, holy!
I mean,
shit.
Deadline put this report out. This was an exclusive from them earlier. They said that Spider-Man Brand New Day just got the best first day US pre-sales in 5 years. If you scroll down, I don't think they give us the number, like the dollar amount, but based on their sources, I'll just read off like the first couple of paragraphs real quick. We just stay there for a moment. They say Sony and Marvel Studios Spider-Man Brand New Day is bringing some kapow and boom to advanced ticket sales. Love the language, even though it's a Batman thing. But anyway, to advanced ticket sales, to use comic book lingo, the sequel starring Tom Holland and directed by Destin Daniel Cretton has posted the best first day pre-sales in 5 years, we hear. Brand New Day opens in July 31st in the wake of Nolan's The Odyssey 2 weeks prior. And now if you scroll down a little bit, they do talk about how the last time we had big pre-sales records was for Spider-Man No Way Home, the 2021 movie, before posting the second best opening at the domestic box office ever, on 260.1 million, only behind Avengers Endgame in 2019, which opened to 357.1 million. I don't think any movie's getting past that number. That movie, No Way Home, had accumulated $78 million in pre-sales. Now, that was the total pre-sales, up until the day the movie came out. So far, we're talking about Brand New Day had the best first day of pre-sales since Spider-Man No Way Home, which you guys remember, right, John? Like, oh my God, we're gonna get all three Spider-Man back. You got Doc Ock, you got the Green Goblin, like all this, the hype was through the roof. It was the biggest movie since the pandemic. So it still is. So in terms of the financials, so, and that was coming out in December. So this is coming out obviously in the middle of the year in July, and now Brand New Day being the follow-up to No Way Home, I'd imagine if Brand New Day got 78 million, that I have a feeling, John, that we can get at least close to, if not past that number. What are your thoughts? Because again, we don't have the number for what it did in the first day, but if you were to compare to No Way Home, do you think 78 million in pre-sales is a approachable number by the time the movie comes out?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know if it'll make like $300 million. I don't think it'll be that. I think it could break three digits. As in like the
Triple
first
digits,
three
yeah.
number. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Like I think it could break like 100 million.
You mean like over 100? But
like,
that's just in pre-sales. Like
I know. That's what I'm saying.
That's like you get to Thursday and that money's already in the bank. Like that's wild. Like again, just to give you guys some.
I think so. I think it could
reference. Like if you just for reference.
Here's the thing. I'm looking at all these other movies. And no offense to these other two movies, I'm excited reasonably for them, and they're good. But like, I managed to get Supergirl relatively no problem. Odyssey, a little tougher. Spider-Man, I feel like I was lucky to get 3 seats together on the day that I wanted to. Actually, I gotta tell my parents. I keep forgetting to tell them that. But it's just it's just
maybe
hype is real. I'm just gonna say the hype is real.
You should go see Spider-Man, then you should let them go see I Want Your Sex. That's a more
no, gross. I don't
Olivia Wilde. Have you seen that? I saw the trailer for that movie. Hey Jalen, how you doing? Okay, I was gonna say though, just for reference, if Spider-Man Brand New Day can get anywhere in the neighborhood, if not beat the $78 million in pre-sales that Spider-Man No Way Home did 5 years ago, which is the high point since the pandemic, that would be pretty much the same amount of money that we just talked about a moment ago. Moana, the live action Moana, is projected to make in its entirety of its opening weekend. 85 million is the current projection. Spider-Man Brand New Day could be entering the weekend with all that money or then some already in the bag. Like, I'm like, if there's ever a movie that's gonna like either match No Way Home's $260 million opening weekend or Avengers Endgame's $357 million opening weekend. Remember, just the opening weekend. That's not the entirety of its run. Brand New Day could be in that territory, which I think that at that point it might even be like, this might be a bigger movie than Avengers Doomsday. It will probably make more money. I mean, I think it will make more money than the Odyssey. So the early signs are great. I mean, without getting too far ahead of ourselves, I think just having the record for the first day of pre-sales, since, well, basically it's, Spider-Man No Way Home, the last Spider-Man movie, that's really, really good. And John, we got there partly because of the promotion they did. They did a whole fan event, and it was a global trailer launch. We have one example of that here. They did a fan event in Amsterdam as well as in a dozen different countries, but we figured we showcase at least one of them, John. So kind of like what Supergirl has been doing, you get fans, you get influencers, you get creators out on the red carpet, you do photo shoots, you got merch, you got moments from the movies, and it just creates excitement.
But to be fair, it doesn't even need to do all this because it's already gonna fucking
absolutely, but like these people will then spread the message and become like your brand ambassadors in a way, and that kind of it's just free marketing at that point for the studio. I mean, more and more studios are obviously catching on to this. They actually even did I think like a Q&A session there as well, which we'll talk about for Supergirl as well later on. They were in London today. Kevin Davis saying, hi Kevin, Doctor Strange 2 and Wakanda Forever had good pre-sales tickets, only stop at 800 to 900 million at the box office. That's true. They did mention those were two other standouts.
That's also a fucking shitload of fucking money. Like,
it is.
It's only 800 million. Like, yeah,
but Kevin, and I'm not trying to be insulting or like in any way like saying that you're not wrong. You're not wrong. That is true. That is what happened. But there is a big ass fucking difference between Doctor PV Strange 2 and Wakanda Forever without the actual Black Panther in it, and Spider-fucking-Man, the biggest superhero, most popular superhero in the entire world. Spider-Man can eat those two movies box office all by itself. The last one did. Literally, the last Spider-Man movie made more money than those two movies combined. Just saying, and again, not trying to attack you or anything. I'm just saying there's a big difference between a summer blockbuster Spider-Man movie and anything with Black Panther and Doctor Strange. Big difference. Thank you, Jalen. Jalen saying, I swear if I see some kind of switch up with Brand New Day like No Way Home after a month release, I lose all hope in comic fandom. I don't know. What do you mean like a switch up? I don't think there was there a switch up? You mean like they re-released it with like a bunch of extra scenes? That was just like to get your money. I mean, if you want to go and see it a second time with a few extra scenes, I don't think it was anything super consequential. Although it did add like another $100 million or so to the box office. Figuredoring saying, no shot this makes more than Doomsday. Hi, Figuredoring. The more money this movie makes, the more money Doomsday will make. You've got a good point there. I'm just saying it all depends on how well Doomsday is received, and then we are also working at this right now. It
doesn't matter how fucking well Doomsday is received. That shit's gonna make $700 billion trillion. Come on now, John, everyone's a sucker for fucking nostalgia bait.
But here's the thing: the other thing I want to mention is we haven't seen a Doomsday trailer yet. We don't know any pre-sales numbers for Doomsday yet. And Marvel's not going to do any of that. I can guarantee you at this point, given how far along we are, I'm telling you right now, there's no way we're getting the Doomsday trailer publicly released before Spider-Man comes out. Like, why distract all that attention? Because it would be one thing if Sony was doing their own thing like Andrew Garfield and it wasn't, partnered with Marvel Studios. But much like DC, I mean, they have Clayface coming out later. They did release a trailer, but right now everything is focused on Supergirl. So I think everything will continue to be focused on Spider-Man until Spider-Man comes out, and then we will get the Doomsday trailer. We might even get it like tagged on to the end of Spider-Man No Way Home. Sorry, Brand New Day. And then, from there we'll pick it up. And then at that point we can start to have conversations about, okay, how much is Doomsday gonna make? You know, like it's just until then, it's all Spider-Man's world. Yeah,
Because
yeah,
everybody's a sucker.
yeah.
Everybody's a
Dylan,
sap.
okay,
Oh, Magneto's in it. Let me fucking give you my fucking
yeah.
holes,
Oh, I
Kevin
don't.
Feige.
To what Jalen was saying in the chat, yeah, I mean, look, it doesn't just happen with any Spider-Man movies. It happens with anything these days. People sometimes think that after they love the movie, they just turn on and be like, it's cool to hate on something. Don't be one of those people. Like it's just don't live in the social media bubble. Like there's plenty of people who never change their mind about how much they love that movie. So I don't think we need to worry about that. But John, let's keep on going because there's more fallout from the trailer yesterday. Because now there's more Easter eggs we gotta get into. We'll talk about the Punisher Easter egg. We gotta get into like more details that sort of come out. There's some rumors about what some of the other actors like Keith David, who they might be playing in the movie. But we'll start with the Punisher stuff. Hello, Hunter Iggy. How are you doing, man? Walk us through this. Did you read this? Because like apparently
I did read this, and
this is
guys,
interesting.
maybe we're not cooked. Maybe
Yeah,
we're not.
I thought you might like this,
all.
John. Go ahead. And if you're gonna get into a rant, just give me a heads up. That's all. But
So apparently, there's been some stuff in regards to like, they talk about inspiration for comic stuff all the time, how even though it's not really following the comic, Brand New Day is sort of an influence. And apparently Sadie Sink's role may not be the role we thought, hopefully, because apparently, according to this, the latest trailer may have revealed a key source of comic book inspiration for filmmaker Destin Daniel Cretton. The Punisher's latest hideout is a boat named Golden Girl, and that's been pulled straight from the pages as of the late, great Jerry Conway's Spectacular Spider-Man run. In Spectacular Spider-Man number 141, Spidey and Frank Castle team up to battle Tombstone, which, Tombstone is rumored to be in this film. The issue also introduced a character called Persuader, who can take control and influence people's minds. The next issue is a full-on battle between Spider-Man and Tombstone, a villain who is set to be played in this movie by actor Marvin Jones III, aka rapper Crondon. He's being kept under wraps, but a leaked image from Spider-Man Brand New Day recreated the iconic cover of Spectacular Spider-Man number 142. Now might be a good time to read those comics, as they could prove key in better understanding that's to come on the Web Slingers' next MCU set adventure. So, even though all the insiders are saying, oh, it's going to be Jean Grey, it's going to be X-Men, so maybe,
just maybe,
chat, we're not cooked, and we might not be getting bullshit X-Men shit in my goddamn Spider-Man movie. So, now I'm not going to say anything in regards to this, because I have no trust in Kevin Feige whatsoever. However, if Sadie Sink is not going to be Jean Grey and is going to be this Persuader character, bruh, I'm going to be like a born again Christian. Like if Supergirl is somehow, if Anna Naguera somehow manages to make Tom King seem halfway decent, and Sadie Sink is not Jean Grey, I might have to be like, all right, maybe God exists. Maybe God exists. Okay, because that will truly be a miracle. All right, so we'll see how this goes, but
just maybe,
we might win, guys. Anyway, next up, speaking of Punisher, we have the unmatched chemistry between ya boy and ya boy. But
this is cool.
But it was pretty much like, because John Bernthal has said the story before where he was like talking with Tom Holland, like, hey, what's something that you can do that like separates yourself? He's like, oh, I could do this. But the thing is, Tom Holland, I mean, he was on the West End, he was on Broadway. many different. He was in the West End production of Billy Elliot. He is a very, very good dancer. He was set to be in a Fred Astaire biopic, but I think that fell through. But that just goes to show, Fred Astaire is one of the greatest dancers of all time, and the fact that someone like Tom Holland could possibly play him is pretty fucking spectacular. No pun intended. But it just he's a gymnast. He's very agility driven. So he's like, "What's something you can do?" He's like, "Oh, maybe I could do a backflip." You do like he's like, "Yeah, fucking do a backflip. Nobody else is fucking doing backflips." And so in his audition tape or his audition, like, I don't know if it was in person or not, but like he did a fucking backflip into his audition, and he's like. And John Bernthal's like, now, I'm not saying I helped him secure the role of Spider-Man, but I'm just saying I did give him some clear advice and he did get the role. So maybe I did something, and maybe this was a good full circle moment of us finally being on screen together, and I helped him get that role.
But also, John, remember, I mean, the one thing, I don't know if you mentioned this already, but like, they were both in the UK when John Bernthal was auditioning for Punisher around the same time. They basically helped each other film each other's. That's the footage of like each other's audition tapes. So like, they kind of helped each other, got the Spider-Man and the Punisher role, and then years later they finally are having a crossover, and they go into how like on set, Destin Daniel Cretton kind of let them riff off each other a lot because they just have great chemistry, and it's just. It's good to see because it's like it comes naturally because these guys are actually friends and like have obviously been a big part of each other's careers in the years leading up to this. So yeah, you love to hear it because I mean, look, Destin Daniel Cretton, Shang-Chi, Wonder Man, and now if Spider-Man hits, I'm like, he's got to be the golden boy at Marvel then, right? Like he's got to be like their guy. Like he's give everything to Destin and let him.
I mean, he almost got Avengers, but then stuff changed, and they're like, nah, let's get the dipshit Russo.
Well, maybe the one after, maybe the next Avengers could be his, because like he wants to do Wonder Man season 2. He's like, I'd really love to do it. I really want to do it. So that could give him a bit of a break between that and then if they, if and when they do the next Spider-Man movie, and then maybe after that, whenever they get to the next Avengers film, I wouldn't mind seeing him take that on. But yeah, let's not jump too far ahead. But yeah, I mean, it's great. Good to see that John Bernthal and Tom Holland have got some good chemistry both on and off the screen. So
yeah.
Let's keep going.
But let us keep going. But Brand New Day with Eliza Colon-Zayas and Keith David's characters may have been revealed. Potential spoilers. In the first trailer, David's character can be heard saying spiders have 3 life cycles. When between cycles, it can leave the spider vulnerable to threats. And for those spiders who make it through, it amounts to a kind of rebirth. According to Daniel Rickman, David is actually playing a news anchor, and you never actually see him. He's an Attenborough type character. This seems to be a bit of an odd creative choice, but we still know very little about the extent of Parker's transformation, which evidently requires more exposition than Peter can provide. As for Colon-Zayas, the Super claims to have confirmed that she is indeed playing Detective Jean DeWolf, who is an ally of Spider-Man in the comics, until her death at the hands of the Sin Eater. We also talked about another character I'm forgetting, but I think there was more of an X-Men connection with another character. But it's I mean, that's pretty cool, I guess. I mean, I would have liked to see, because I know there was a rumor that Keith David was going to be the Jackal, and which maybe plants the seeds of Clone Saga at some point, which I know is like considered one of the worst Spider-Man stories of all time. Well, but like the core of it was okay. It's just they're like, oh shit, this is making money, let's make more issues, and then they had to like just keep burying themselves, like, oh, this twist, that twist, this twist, that, oh, Norman's still alive, no, Harry's still, and just like it ballooned into something stupid. But like the core of what Clone Saga was like fine. It's just it just ballooned into something ridiculous because Marvel wanted money because they were bleeding money at that point because they had none. So they're like, all right, let's bring on the cash.
That happened quite a lot in Marvel's history. But that's how the comics go until Disney buys you out, or like Warner Brothers bought DC way before that. But anyway, Liza Colon-Zayas like playing a detective kind of explains Tom Holland talking about it's going to be a detective movie. Maybe he was like being literal, like he's going to be working with a detective in the film. And then Keith David playing like this, like basically this narrator voice who's meant to be a reporter throughout the film makes all the sense in the world. So you don't actually see him, you just hear his voice narrate the movie at key moments. So, which makes sense because like you're going to get a lot of like internal monologuing from Peter probably. We've already heard some of that in the trailer, so it kind of helps break things up a little bit maybe. I don't necessarily mind it, but yeah, cool. I wouldn't mind being surprised to see Keith David on screen either. Doomsday being John Schrodinger's cat would be, yes, that's a very fascinating concept. Very fascinating concept. But anyway, John, let's keep going. We got a lot more Spider-Man to get into because, of course, Tremel Tillman is in the movie. Mm-hmm. And apparently, if you do go through the new trailer with the subtitles and the captions on, it does confirm the character that he's playing, which was this lesser-known X-Men villain. Do you want to walk us through that? Because this was something we talked about, I think, months ago when the previous trailer came out, and the captions kind of hinted at it as well. But apparently, Tremel is playing William Bill Metzger, who is a Z-list X-Men villain. Like,
who is essentially like Colonel Stryker, but not nearly as interesting or as memorable. But yeah, apparently he's playing this character, and he's going to be a part of Damage Control. So, which is responsible for releasing superhumans and by extension mutants, and people are already mad about it. It's like, why are you making the black guy racist? It's like, it's almost like anybody of any race can be racist or something. And it just like, it adds to the whole narrative of like, because that's what X-Men is at a point where it's just like where people bury smaller differences to go after something bigger. That's what literally the whole point of Watchmen is about. It's just like it's like people who buried their differences. Oh, there's clearly something bigger out there that we have to fight against, because nothing is more unifying than giving someone a common enemy. Like that's the whole point. It's like, okay, it's like, oh yeah, this white guy might hate this black guy, and this black guy might hate this white guy, but it's like, oh, but these mutants that can kill us, well, let's bury the hatchet so we can fucking kill them. That's like half the point of X-Men. Like it's, I mean,
it's always been a thinly veiled
missing that
analogy at, race relations and all that. Yeah, it's X-Men have always been that. But I feel like having this character be in, Spider-Man Brand New Day, and then if we do indeed see Sadie Sink playing Jean Grey, you're setting the foundation to then grow from there, because you're starting to like create this feel that the Department of Damage Control is this organization that is known for abusing its power and has some, dodgy figures within it that will try to take advantage of, their position to, I don't know, like over police or literally, go after mutants. And then that will be a theme, obviously, that will grow into the central theme of the mutant saga. So I like that it's setting up the groundwork, because being part of the MCU, you can do those small things without necessarily overriding the story of the movie, but rather like having it weave into the rest of the narrative. So I think this is good on the part of the MCU and Marvel to like kind of take this route where you're planting some seeds which can then sprout into bigger storylines down the road. So yeah.
All right. But you know what, all those enhanced, Stan. They have enhanced. They have enhanced the trailer image with Sadie Sink. So it is confirmed that
it is Sadie. That's her eyes.
Sadie Sink. That is most definitely her eyes.
If you hit play, like it kind of loops on
it's
you,
but blurry, that's but her. You can kind of tell. And
that's definitely Sadie Sink with the mask on. Yeah.
Yep.
And then that hoodie also looks like the same hoodie that we see her wearing in that leaked image, except like it's not all the way zipped up, and the color, you get to see the green color a little bit more, so it looks more like the comic booky Jean Grey we saw on the set photos even before that last year.
Although here it looks more orange. She had the red hair, yellow. So
yeah, but I mean that might be just the lighting. It looks like a tan color sort of a thing, like a brown tan sort of a color, and like not a khaki, but like it, like I'm saying all the pieces add up. Like this is the same costume that we saw in the leaked photo, the same costume that we saw her wearing on those set photos months ago. We're not seeing her red hair right now, but we saw that in the set photos. It does look like, again, visually at least, it could all still be a red herring, like you said, John, because she could be that other character we mentioned earlier, but depending on if the Punisher comic is being adapted very closely or not. But hey, I know you mentioned yesterday it might not be Sadie Sink. Well, somebody, up the gamma on that image, and all of a sudden we know it is actually Sadie Sink. So that's good.
I was just,
Good.
I always like to
Yeah.
throw like a devil's advocate kind of theory.
No, I'm not blaming you. I think it's all until we know any better. Like it's okay to kind of like go in one direction with the speculation or the theory. One direction.
Whoa. That's what makes you beautiful. Anyway, speaking of beautiful,
This is the only
Spider-Man Brand New
song they
Day
had.
rumor may reveal new details on Peter Parker's mysterious blonde neighbor.
Yeah.
But of course, your boy Daniel Rickman has now shared some new details about this mysterious character. The blonde girl is said to live in Peter's apartment and is clearly into him, but he doesn't give her the time of day. It sounds like the character is going to be introduced as a nod to Ursula Ditkovich from Sam Raimi's Spider-Man movies, and probably won't turn out to be Gwen. Yeah, I don't think that'll be the case, though it's certainly possible.
But John, that means that's literally, it's not even across the hallway. It's like Peter Parker's got a roommate. And it's the blonde chick that's into him. He apparently doesn't give her the time of day. I haven't seen. Did you notice that in the? I don't think in the trailer there was any mention or
I don't think so.
Person, right? This is still. So I don't know how like true this is, or if this is still like rumor mill stuff. But the comicbookmovie.com guys actually went ahead and made a list of like what possible characters this person could be. I mean, and I thought there were some interesting options in there.
Yeah.
Beyond just maybe a Gwen Stacy, which I think would be like way too obvious a route to go, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, you have this character, Deborah Whitman, just like one of the forgettable pantheon of Peter Parker women in the comics that nobody really cares about, but it could definitely be the case, and then, as you said, it could be Ursula Ditkovich, which is, a wink and a nod to Steve Ditko, hence Ditkovich, Rent. But Gwen Stacy's the obvious choice. Felicia Hardy is another obvious choice. I was thinking of that too. And then, but then there's this other character named Jessica Carradine. But this is introduced in the comics as the daughter of the burglar who killed Uncle Ben. Jessica's existence forced Spidey, Ben Reilly at the time, to once again reckon with his past. The MCU has intentionally glossed over Peter's early years. Uncle Ben has barely been mentioned, and audiences still know remarkably little about the circumstances surrounding his death. Jessica's arrival could change that. I don't think this is likely either. I think the most likelihood is like either Ursula, this character nobody remembers, like Deborah Whitman, or an entirely original character. Like those are the bottom two are the most.
It doesn't hurt you to like just. They could easily just make it a random like original. Was Ursula created specifically by Sam Raimi for those Tobey Maguire movies? Right. So like they could do something similar here. Like you said, it could be just a reference to like Steve Ditko, for example. So, but yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. I mean, hey, if that is true, then that certainly kind of complicates things a little bit because maybe it puts Peter in a bit of a bind. If I don't know, the whole MJ thing is complicated, and it does remind me a little bit of like Tobey Maguire's and MJ's like rocky relationship. I don't know. I kind of don't miss that dynamic, so I hope that's not where they're going with this at this point. I really don't want to go back there, and I don't think the MJ in this particular universe is anywhere close to the same character. So on that level, I think we're safe. But John, what's not safe?
Us talking about Avengers Doomsday.
Yeah, so it is literally not
could
safe.
Blow a load.
Because spoiler warning, because this image looks very real, even though it's not confirmed to be real. We probably won't talk about it for too long because I also don't want us to like get taken down because I think if they're gonna start taking, because I think it's real, and maybe Marvel leaked it on purpose. But John, there's a new image from Avengers Doomsday that's out that showcases all three of the teams from the movie. Just keep it that zoomed out. We don't need to zoom in on this thing. Like people can see that. Like you guys can go find this image on your own if you want. But basically, John,
maybe.
Yeah, well, it's still on Reddit. Like you could see it. So you could see that's the Captain. That's Sam Wilson's Captain America. Steve Rogers with the hammer. You got Alan Cummings, Nightcrawler there. Rebecca Romaine's Mystique in the back with the costume that we know she's gonna be wearing.
I will say this:
Cyclops. The Beast looks a little badly comped, by the way. Yeah. Just some geeky guy. Kevin Feige probably is coming after you, just some geeky guy. So good luck.
But here's the thing: I'm gonna play devil's advocate. I don't think this is real. because the reason for that is
The shadows are a little off to me.
The shadows are
Like,
off, and I mean,
Thor
to be fair,
looks okay.
Marvel Studios fucking VFX are dog shit, like infamously horrible. So, and the fact, look at Cyclops. I don't know who that is behind him, and then Mystique. They all look like they've been just kind of haphazardly placed there. Now, it could be that it's like, oh, the VFX aren't done yet, and because I mean, Alan Cummings said this, that he's like, I was on a green screen the entire time and talking to nothing. So that's entirely the case of like, oh, what's the kitty diddler defender's name? Cyclops. What's the James Marsden.
Oh, James, okay.
So James Marsden, Rebecca Romaine, and then like it's entirely possible they were filmed on separate like green screens, whether it was a creative choice or just to not let spoilers leak out like this, then maybe, and it's just the VFX are not even close to done. But like it still looks iffy to me. Like I don't know. It's but I am copying this.
Look, because here's the thing. Because okay, I'll explain why this not looking exactly photoreal is okay. Again, it's still not confirmed, but like remember,
it's, fucking how long? 6 months till then. So
yeah, because it has multiple what do you call them? Multiple watermarks. You got the industrial light magic, IND light magic, that's there. It's on Reddit. So again, it's hard to take it with a grain of salt, but just saying all the details kind of line up with what we have heard and seen. And remember those the artwork for a lot of those other characters, their costume photos and stuff that got leaked last year that people thought were AI later turned out to be real. So this looks like it lines up. I mean, yes, Steve's costume looks trash because he's basically not wearing a costume. He's just wearing a shirt that's tucked in with, khaki pants and a belt, and he's got Mjolnir in his hand. But I don't know like if he's gonna be wearing a costume per se in the movie. To be honest, it looks like he left his Captain America costume back, in the past or the other universe. I mean, look, once it's a movie of this scale, there's so many potential points where it can leak. Like this is literally could be somebody who's looking at, one of the in progress VFX shots and just, because it's got all the things. Do not duplicate. Probably this is probably some kind of like rough cut version of the scene where obviously they haven't finished the VFX because like the comping doesn't exactly work because you know like a few things I can point out, John. Maybe we should zoom into the image. We could maybe talk about it a little bit more. But basically in this image, if you look at Sam Wilson, for example, Sam Wilson's Captain America, that's I think like a good example of like where the shot starts to kind of like if you're talking about like this is a real shot, it could because it's got the industrial light and magic thing on it. I'm willing to say that this is
that on.
No, that's true. No, you're not wrong about that. I'm like again, like but that aside, let's just assume for a moment this is actually a real shot. Why the comping doesn't look perfect might be because like the smoke elements haven't properly been comped in. They might have shot some of these characters not on this on this set, and then they're gonna comp them in, and basically part of the comping involves shadows and light and shadow and stuff. I will say the Shang-Chi thing kind of looks like it's reused from another movie, and the Thor image looks like when he lands in Wakanda toward the end of Infinity War.
Yeah, like why would Steve Rogers have long hair? And
well, we do know that that's kind of the look that he's gonna go for, although that does look closer to his Infinity War look than it does to even Endgame, I think.
What? I don't think he's wearing a lab coat. It looks like he's wearing a jacket or something.
Some kind of jacket. Like it lines up with what they do in the movie.
He's probably old. Like they're like, oh, he's older now, so white hair.
Yeah, you're okay. Georgie's like meowing at me from upstairs. Nightcrawler's hair looking white is probably because he's older. Like it's Alan Cummings like older. Like I don't know.
I mean, Alan Cummings in his 60s and he has normal graying hair, so it's not
that Gambit shot looks like if it is fake that it might be just taken directly from like Deadpool and Wolverine. Also Cyclops, that look of Cyclops that does line up with what he's wearing in like the teaser that we got, but it's definitely like, I mean, maybe this is what leads to the point where Cyclops sacrifices himself, but he hasn't yet. I will say the most unphotorealistic character in this entire sequence, in this whole shot, is Beast in the back. He doesn't even look like the Hank McCoy that we got with Kelsey Grammer's iteration and the end of the Marvels. This looks like the Hank McCoy with Nicholas Holt's version, if anything. So I don't know, John. What do you think? Is this real? Is this fake? Do you believe it? Do you?
I don't
believe
think
the
it's
hype?
real. I don't think it's real. But
Yeah, it's. I'm the only reason I'm like, okay, maybe you can let it get away with it because it's like, oh, it's not really a finished shot, so maybe like some of the
I mean, to be
inconsistencies
fair,
you can
half
account
of the
for,
Marvel VFX that are in the final movies don't look like finished shots, so there's that
Well,
too.
okay, that's not. But I'm saying like you don't get obvious issues like, oh my god, you forgot to actually comp in a drop shadow for, not drop shadow, but like a shadow for Sam Wilson's Captain America, and he just looks like he's floating on the ground, But anyway, you guys let us know in the comments. What do you think? Is that a real photo? It's certainly interesting, but we'll leave that up to you guys. And if it turns out to be true down the road, then hey, you got our first look at the Avengers, X-Men, and the new Avengers all together in one image. No Doomsday though. No Doom, I should say. No Doom in that photo. But that set is.
But you know what
we
isn't
saw
doom and gloom? Dan, motherfucking Luke Cage.
That's true.
Sweet Christmas, baby.
We got a video from the set, John. It looks like Luke Cage will be getting into some fights on the show in season 3. So it looks like they're just like practicing here. This is just rehearsals. And that looks like that's what's his name? The actor's name? Mike Coulter?
Mm-hmm.
So he's actually the one doing the stunt. Well, he's not.
He's not really doing it, but he's just kind of pushing someone.
Because they're just right. But like they're gonna. So however they're gonna shoot this. But that looks interesting. So what do you care to speculate what this might be?
Probably just fighting a random guy. Maybe it's one of the anti-vigilante task force people. So it's I don't know, but like we'll see.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, Luke Cage, season 3 of Daredevil Born Again. We've seen him already on set with like the traditional power suits. So hey, it's looking like, Luke Cage is going to be hopefully running for the mayor. We'll see. But with that, we're going to leave MCU Weekly to get into some movie talk madness. John, you brought these trailers in. I did see both of them. I'm sure you saw them both. Let's start with this one. I have no idea what The Room Returns is, other than I feel like I've heard about The Room. So you tell me what this is.
This was made like I would say like years ago at this point. I think this was made like during lockdown, I want to say, or like around that time. But this was a charity. This was a film for charity where they essentially remake The Room.
Oh,
it's got Bob Odenkirk. It's got Greg Sestero came back as Chris R. It's got like a whole bunch of like Mike Flanagan is in it, as in the director Mike Flanagan. His wife Kate Siegel is in it. And it's essentially like just like remaking The Room for charity. And it did premiere in I believe New York and Chicago to sold out theaters, and it's going to be premiering in LA soon. I don't know if this will be widely available, but or like widely released or directed or something, but like I want to watch this because it looks just as bad as the original. There's Mike Flanagan. And it looks fucking wonderful in every facet of the word.
Hey, emo nerd girl, how you doing?
So it's just oh god, so fucking stupid. But I'd watch the shit. I've seen the original Room. I've seen the original Tommy Wiseau The Room, and it's just as awful as it's just as awful as everyone says it is. It's not exactly funny. It's just kind of boring. Like for most of it, like it has those funny scenes, but like for the most part, it's kind of a boring movie. But it's like you have like it looks, and then here we have him recreating the scene. But yeah, it's what a story, Mark. Anyway, how is your sex life? But yeah, it's damn. It's It looks so bad, and I love it. I hope that becomes widely.
I
available.
was like, what the fuck am I watching? Because it just didn't make any sense to me. I'm like, this is some kind of parody, and like the end credit like shot with the slate kind of tells you that. But yeah, it was anyway. It was an interesting experience, and you know what? Bob Odenkirk's got range, so I'll give him that. So
Yeah.
The disaster artist retakes this scene where he says he did not hit her. It was so I remember that. Man, the disaster artist. Anyway, now we move on to the next one.
Is beeping, guys. So
yes, it is indeed. It is indeed.
So if you want to go get that, you can. Because
I will.
The next, we have another trailer for a movie that might not get widely released, but goddamn, I wanted to fucking talk about it.
The Dark Knight, John. Isn't it the Dark Knight?
Gentlemen and ladies, the King has returned. The man, the myth, the legend himself, Uwe Boll, has returned to give us another cinematic masterpiece, and that is Citizen Vigilante, previously known as The Dark Knight, with everybody's favorite cannibal,
because Warner Brothers
Armie Hammer.
Your movie's called what now? And
so it's essentially like, it's just as fucking stupid as you think it is.
It's so bad. I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, this is the
Armie Hammer reading lines off camera.
Like, oh my god. Because like Armie Hammer just had a feature in the Hollywood Reporter about how he's trying to come back, and he's like, I'm like, but dude, like, I don't know if you should have been doing this movie to try to make I don't know. I feel like he could have done a million other things, but
I will say there is a cool shot later on. Hang on. It's where he's like holding the gun, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. But yeah, it's like there he is, like, all right, that's kind of a cool shot. But
yeah, I'll give him that. Like from The Man from U.N.C.L.E., like, it looks like a shot from that movie. I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah, and it looks terrible. It looks, oh my god, Uwe Boll, the man. The man who thinks diarrhea Pop-Tarts are cinema.
I'm just wondering if this is gonna have better VFX.
I mean, it'll probably be a better remake than the Death Wish remake. So
yeah. Anyway,
but
not the trailers.
Uwe Boll and Armie Hammer make their glorious returns to film, and we couldn't be dreading it anymore. Yeah, good. Remember when he had a letterbox for like 2 weeks? And he rated The Godfather like a half a star. He's like, this isn't cinema. You know it is cinema? Fucking Blood Rain. Hang on. Okay. Hang on a sec. Uwe Boll's not that bad. Rampage is okay. Like his Rampage, not the Dwayne Johnson,
not the Rock movie, one. Yeah. Let's not get that confused.
It was a different Rampage.
Yes.
That wasn't too bad. So, no, because Armie Hammer is a has-been, and nobody gives a fuck about Armie Hammer anymore. So,
sick burn, John. But
it's truthful. But yeah, it's cinema. But
and the next thing we're going to talk about, John, is something that I couldn't figure out, like, what other segment to stick it in, because I figured, you know what, maybe it is cinema, so then we'll talk about it here, and that is, of course, GTA 6, Grand Theft Auto 6, and Rockstar Games just revealed a new look at the game, John.
Yes.
I think it's down here in this article.
A new look at Vice City.
So you get a motion, like a video of it, and it looks like Miami. Isn't that what it's always been?
That's the point. But because that's like Los Santos is Los Angeles, Vice City is Miami, right. Liberty City is New York. So that is.
What about San Andreas then? Like, was that? Or that's never mind. That's the real. Yeah.
But yeah. So
yeah,
looks cool. I'm still not gonna get it, but so.
I'm gonna get it. I might wait to get it because they're probably gonna charge you like.
They're gonna charge you like $120 for the cheap version, and then you also have to do age verification. And fuck that, I'm gonna not do age verification for as long as I possibly can until lawmakers make it that you have to enter your computer and age verify yourself. But until then, not doing any age verification.
I was just like, there used to be a time when like $90 was like the expensive version of a game, and I'm like, now it starts at 120. Like, fuck that. Anyway, we should do a tier list of things that we got before GTA 6. We should. That's actually a really good idea. We'll put it on a poll. We'll put on a poll for you, and then you guys can
I
vote
don't
for
like
it.
that's too much shit, man. That's like doing a list of things between
No, but we could
New York
pick
Knicks
like 10.
championships. Too
No,
much.
okay, but maybe we'll pick like 10. Like 10 or 15 things. Like we'll have to like be picky about it, but like
We got not one but two cinematic universes
from
for DC.
Yeah. The
We got
Fox
3
unit,
Batman adaptations.
Yep. That's true.
Yeah.
Oh, we did. You're right. Holy shit, we did. That is wild to think about.
Because when
okay,
did
cool.
I think it was? I don't think it was like 2000s. It was like 2010s, right? Hold on, I gotta look up on GTA.
No, it was later than 20. You're talking about the
Okay,
Dark Knight
2013.
Rises?
So no, we didn't get.
So it
3.
was right after the Dark
That
Knight.
was after Dark Knight Rises. So not 3, just 2.
No, we did. Technically, if you want to count like Michael Keaton's Batman coming back, Ben Affleck's Batman.
Yeah,
and
but he was
Robert
already
Pattinson's
Batman. That's
Yeah, that's true. But we went through 3 different Batman in that time. Like, you could say that. We could do that. You guys give us suggestions. If that ends up winning as a topic, you guys will have to tell us, what to include. But anyway, John, that's not the only thing Rockstar Games announced about GTA 6. It has to be between 2013 and onward. That's the rule. Okay, yeah, that's fair. But hey, you know what? Rockstar Games also announced and showcased actually the cover art. So they announced pre-orders and they gave us the cover art reveal. So what's the deal with the pre-orders? I think if you actually just go to the video, I think it has the date for when the pre-orders start.
yeah.
And then I'm sure that's going to be like probably the biggest pre-orders any game has ever had. That the video is right up there. You just went past it.
I didn't even notice the play
yes.
button. I was like,
Nope,
what?
that's
That's just
it.
a poster.
That's it. Hey, Hunter. That's awesome. Call of Duty Ghosts 1 and 2 coming to PS5, Hunter. That's good. That's the art. That's the cover. That looks nice. I like it. I like this. I like the look of that. I watched this June 25th. A week from today, John. A week from today, pre-orders start. So get your wallets out and ready, and
get your pancakes out. If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. All right. Cool. Let's keep going.
Dan, go get your food. I can handle this. It's fine. I know we heard it dinging. You can go get your food. It's fine. There you go. I'm ready for PS6. Well, you might have to wait a little bit longer because of the RAM apocalypse. But let's get into something a little bit more interesting. Not really, but I'm just trying to keep the motion going. But apparently, How the Grinch Stole Christmas sequel in the works with Jim Carrey and Ron Howard, and Brian Grazer is also going to be producing the film. Considering I don't like the original film, and I have no excitement for this whatsoever, but Jim Carrey did mention maybe like a year ago that he said, I wouldn't mind doing it now that they have like motion capture and CGI, because he's like, I'm not fucking doing that again. Fuck no. Practically hell no, because he had to experience like fucking CIA training for torture to fucking get through that goddamn performance. So I know this is a cult classic among mainly millennials and older Gen Z. A lot of people around the time really loved it. Meanwhile, Jim Carrey's The Grinch gave me nightmares. So that was fun. But yeah, I'm just not a huge fan of this. Not a big fan of How the Grinch Stole Christmas. But to the people that enjoy it, then I hope you like this, because so with this, Jim Carrey is in talks. It's not official yet, but he's in talks to reprise the role as the classic Dr. Seuss character, the Grinch, with Ron Howard returning to direct. Howard will produce alongside his Imagine Entertainment partner, Brian Grazer. The untitled sequel will have a script by Alec Berg, who did Barry, Silicon Valley, Curb Your Enthusiasm, Jeff Schaefer, who did Life, Larry and the Pursuit of Unhappiness, Dave, Curb Your Enthusiasm, and David Mandel, Veep, lot of Curb Your Enthusiasm. The trio also worked on the 2003 Seuss adaptation, The Cat in the Hat, starring Mike Myers. Released just ahead of Thanksgiving in 2000, How the Grinch Stole Christmas was the top movie of the year domestically with $260 million and earned a total of $345 million worldwide. and it also took sorry about that. It also took home best makeup Oscar for Rick Baker as well. And Gail Rowell Ryan. And as I mentioned, Kerry said that he would never um yeah, as he told Vulture last year, he wanted to quit on day one of the production and return his $20 million fee. He got through it with the help of a man who trained CIA agents to withstand torture, and thanks to the makeup eventually being reduced to 3 hours a day. So yeah, and Carrie said like as long as we can do like motion capture and CGI, then I'll happily come back for the role. I mean, there are sequels to um there are sequels to the Grinch, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. I think there are a couple of them. But the thing I'm intrigued about, because apparently, um, the Cat in the Hat was so bad that the widow of Dr. Seuss, who I don't know if she's still alive, said no more live action um Dr. Seuss adaptation. So it's entirely possible this could be even animated, but I think they're making it live action. So I don't know if she gave the okay for this, or if this is gonna be announced, but then and nothing is gonna happen now because like, oh, she's gonna say no to it. Like they're gonna start to get the wheels turning and then nothing's gonna happen. Or maybe she gave the okay because the original one was fine, and like this is a sequel to that. Because there is apparently some backstory in regards to that. So the three guys that wrote that original How the Grinch Stole Christmas screenplay is apparently they wrote a lot of like really dirty jokes in that film, but Ryan Howard, wanting to keep the family friendly tone, um took them all out and said, "No, we're not doing that." And then with that, they also so they wanted to, having made that amount of money, they wanted to recreate this, so they brought in the three writers to do Cat in the Hat. But the thing is, they didn't have like a more like notable director to have the clout to like remove all these jokes, and he didn't really care, so they all those really adult jokes that were in famously in Cat or infamously in Cat in the Hat stayed in, like a dirty hoe, like all that stuff. And Mike Myers had did not care to do it because he was contractually obligated to do it, so he did not fucking care. He didn't want to do it. Meanwhile, Jim Carrey loved doing this movie, even though he hated the suit. So there's all that. So I think it's very interesting how they're bringing this back. We'll see how it goes. I don't know if this is going to be 100% for sure yet, but yeah, for the people. I'm sorry. For the people that are excited for this, I hope you enjoy this because God knows I'm not. But Dan, is Dan back yet? Dan, you there? Because you have one more thing to get into. But I can start it because I don't mind talking about it. But I'm just going to talk about my excitement for this because I know Dan wanted to talk about like business specifics in regards to Ray Gunn and how it became like back and forth between two warring studios. So Ray Gunn, if you don't know anything about Ray Gunn, this is the movie that Brad Bird has been trying to get off the ground for, I want to say, at least 25 years, 25 to 30 years. Like this was his passion project. This was a melding of noir and silver age sci-fi concepts into one film. Very typical, kind of film noir, more like a neo noir. And with that, this he's been trying to get off the ground. I think he tried to do it at Pixar. It didn't come to be. Then he tried to do it, I think, at Skydance. Never happened. A Skydance Animation where John Lasseter is. That didn't happen. So now eventually he got it at Netflix. And I think this is definitely going to be, I don't know if it's going to be his best film, but I would have loved to have seen it in more traditional animation means, but he is making it CGI animated. So that's pretty cool. But Dan, I know you wanted to talk about this as more of like a business
Yeah.
kind of sort of thing. So
Yeah.
I
So
procrastinated until you could get there.
no, all good, all good. Basically, okay, so it's interesting what's going on here. Now, this is an article in the Wrap that's kind of behind a paywall. So, I was able to. I mean, I actually have a Wrap subscription, so I can see it. But it's kind of interesting because they put this behind a paywall because the story is very very interesting. But John, so it is actually a movie that is being produced at Skydance Animation. So it is still a project that Skydance Animation is working on, but Netflix is the one that's going to be releasing it. Now the article is mostly talking about how, well, in general, this has become a hot potato between Netflix and Skydance, which of course Skydance is now part of Paramount. So just I'm gonna say for the moment, as moving forward, I'm gonna refer to the two studios involved as Paramount and Netflix, which I think gives us a clearer picture of what may or may not be happening here, considering the larger, I don't know, the macro scope or macro scape, whatever, like, what's going on with Paramount and Netflix the last few months, you guys know, with, bidding around Warner Brothers, and then Paramount still publicly accusing on Netflix of poisoning the well for them with their merger and stuff. So that is a precursor to what, because it has had an apparent impact on all of this. So Brad Bird did set this up at Skydance Animation, which Skydance Animation is now part of Paramount. And Netflix is the one releasing it. Now, this whole story focuses on two things. One, what's going on in general with the movie. The other thing is focusing on is the fact that you guys remember Narnia was going to come out this Thanksgiving. Then they moved it to next year, like next spring. So now they even have a full theatrical release for it. The first time Netflix has ever done that. Sony will distribute it internationally, pretty much, around the world. We talked about it just like yesterday or 2 days ago. So Netflix, Narnia has moved to 2027. Now, that time slot that opened up for this Thanksgiving with a couple of weeks of exclusive IMAX play, that time slot, you guys might remember, we talked about a few weeks ago, that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the David Fincher movie, has taken over. That movie is going to go play in IMAX. Now, the thing is, according to Drew Taylor in this article, they never, like, the folks like David Fincher himself and the folks working on Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, well, the sequel to that, they never wanted that movie. They didn't push for it. They didn't really, say like, oh, we need to have this be in a theatrical release, be on IMAX. In fact, David Fincher, according to them here, is kind of open to and almost expects his movies to be, directly streaming. Like, he made this movie Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, well, not that, but the sequel to it, as primarily a streaming film. Whereas Brad Bird has always pitched Ray Gunn as a theatrical movie. And so if you guys remember, they mentioned this article back in the day, Brad Bird, got Paramount to release Ghost Protocol, the Mission Impossible movie, in IMAX theaters for an exclusive quote unquote roadshow run before the movie even opened wide a week later. So it had an exclusive IMAX release for 1 week before everybody else could see it in other normal theaters and IMAX. So Brad Bird loves the idea of putting his movie in theaters. He wanted that, but for some reason, Netflix decided to give that slot to David Fincher's Once Upon a Time sequel. And so people are wondering why, because even the folks working behind the scenes, according to two individuals with knowledge of the situation, David Fincher was not lobbying for the big theatrical release. And, Ray Gunn camp instead was advocating for a theatrical release of Brad Bird and co. And specifically this movie, according to those same two people. So they don't name them, of course. So what happened? Now, this article kind of goes into a lot of detail, but I mentioned earlier, Paramount accusing Netflix of the Scorched Earth campaign, all the back and forth that Netflix and Paramount have had, including being competing bidders for Warner Brothers. That all kind of plays into this because I'm going to read these two paragraphs because I think they do a really good job of summing up what might be going on. According to the Wrap, in effect, Ray Gunn has become a hot potato, according to someone close to the project, being uneasily passed between two warring mega companies, which is the impression that the Wrap got from talking to folks on all sides. But the push to get Ray Gunn a theatrical release raises questions about why, as Netflix dips its toe further into theatrical waters, animated films, which historically drive some of the most viewership on the platform and are dominating the box office, aren't among the few Netflix features getting theatrical play. Like you might wonder, other than K-pop Demon Hunters, which even that was for only a few days, Netflix doesn't put their animated movies in theaters. So those who have followed Bird's career and worked with him are starting to feel a sense of deja vu, as the situation with Reagan uncomfortably resembles the general apathy that greeted Bird's feature debut, The Iron Giant. That film too was beset by a similar pass the buck attitude, as the production studio was shutting down while the team was rushing to finish the film, and Warner Brothers marketing department didn't know what to do with it once it was done. Now, if you guys remember, The Iron Giant was, a pretty big disappointment, a flop at the box office in 99, but even though not a lot of people saw it back then, it's now considered one of the greatest animated features of all time. John will tell you as much. So this article kind of wraps it up by saying, now with more than 3 decades of filmmaking experience under his belt, between live action and animation, 2 Academy Awards, and over $3 billion worldwide in box office revenue, including for a period holding the belt for biggest opening for an animated feature in history, Brad Bird has found himself in the same place as he has at the beginning of his filmmaking career, begging for the powers that be to take him seriously and exhibit his movie in the way that he intended. And of course, Netflix and Skydance both declined to comment. So that leaves us in, again, a very precarious place. It looks like, as I mentioned right off the top, while in this article they do mention that Netflix, some inside sources at Netflix declined that they gave Once Upon a Time Hollywood sequel the Thanksgiving IMAX slot simply because this is a Skydance project, so they don't want Ray Gunn to play, because like the rivalry that Netflix and Paramount have right now. Like, according to some insiders at Netflix, that wasn't the reason why, but it's kind of like the unsaid thing. It could, because it does feel like it's just those two studios trying to one up each other, which, guys, it's going to be a theme as we go on through the rest of the show, because we have a few other things that kind of bring up the same theme across the board. So John, with that, let's I don't know, what are your thoughts on this? I'll send you the actual article later so you can read through the whole thing yourself.
Sure.
But
all I know is I'm excited for it because I fucking love Brad Bird, and he's been trying to get this off the ground for fucking a long time. So the fact that he finally gets to do it is pretty awesome, because Brad Bird is the GOAT. He hasn't made a bad movie yet, so
I mean, it's his dream project. He's wanting to do this for years, and the fact that it's got stuck between a fight between Netflix and Paramount, and it's going to go direct to streaming, it could have been a huge hit for them. And I mean, what else can you expect from Netflix? But even when Netflix had a chance to put it in IMAX for 2 weeks this Thanksgiving, when Narnia moved out of the way, they instead chose to put the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood sequel in its place, not Ray Gunn. Even though animated movies tend to do really well at the box office. Look at Toy Story 5. Look at the Minions and Monsters.
Look at K-pop Demon Hunters for Netflix specifically. Yeah. So there's that
which
too.
Gave Netflix this first and only #1 box office weekend ever. So, and I'm sure Narnia will probably give him their second. So anyway, we'll leave that there for now, but just keep in mind this whole Netflix versus Paramount dynamic will continue as we move on from movie talk madness to now talking about TV talk terror, because John, you mentioned at the very top of the show, let's get into that, because The Burrows, if you want to switch over to that, remember we talked about it yesterday, that The Burrows was canceled over at Netflix. It was a show that was greenlit and worked on by the Duffer Brothers. So it was greenlit by Netflix. It has Alfred Molina, Alfred Woodard. I think there's a few other big name actors in there. Gina Davis from Sex and the City, right? And so you had some really big names in this show. And of course, the Duffer Brothers, Matt and Ross Duffer, worked on it. And here's the thing. The show was doing really well. This first season did really well. We'll go through the numbers later, but it is one of the most popular shows on Netflix. But yesterday we found out that the show got canceled, and that felt a little out of left field. I mean, yes, we were laughing about it because, it's the Duffer Brothers, and we kind of speculated maybe, is because the Duffer Brothers are now going to Paramount and they have a 4-year exclusive deal with them. So Netflix is just trying to be like, we're not going to be in the Duffer Brothers game, even though apparently the Duffer Brothers are still developing a few other things at Netflix. So it's not like they're done with Netflix, but you do got to wonder, maybe that was part of it. So according to this article, John, and if we can kind of go through this a little bit more, they do kind of imply that while, again, kind of like Ray Gunn, nobody is saying the quiet thing out loud. it is sort of that. It is pretty much in the same vein that, you know, the Duffer Brothers are ditching Netflix for a 4-year deal to Paramount, which they announced, you know, at a time when Netflix was still, you know, sort of, it was around the time Netflix had just either walked away from, I think actually Netflix might not have walked away from Warner Brothers at that point, right? So for Netflix, it was embarrassing to be like, oh, the guys who did Stranger Things just walked to Paramount, who then went on to just win Warner Brothers that Netflix was going to get their hands on. So, you know, like there are some insiders over at Netflix who were telling the Hollywood Reporter that it was tough and it was embarrassing for Netflix to kind of see that happen publicly. But Netflix, you know, business people declined that characterization. So again, Netflix saying, no, that's not the reason why. The other reason in this article to talk about is the production budget for the show was a little untenable because according to some sources for the THR, a problem with the Burrows was its expensive production budget. It was about 10 million per episode, which is not bad, but it's materially higher. Actually, the actual number is materially higher, meaning like 10 million per episode might have been like the sticker price, but once you actually get into how much they end up spending overall, it averaged out to more than 10 million per episode. And while the show ended up being one of the most popular shows on Netflix throughout its first season, it wasn't like doing Wednesday like numbers like some of the biggest shows that they've got, or like Stranger Things. So it was hard for them to basically justify that, like for Netflix to be like, oh, we will keep spending this kind of money. And but here's the thing, John, we talked about how CBS canceled the late night show. The Burrows has actually got really good ratings, by the way, Chimera. And we were like, oh, you know, they did it because they weren't making any money on it. Like Paramount, it was like, we didn't cancel it because of like, you know, political reasons or editorial things. We canceled it because, you know, it wasn't getting good ratings and it financially didn't make any sense. It was the highest rated late night show on TV. And yet they got canceled. So Netflix doing this thing, I don't know. Like, I want to get your opinion before I move on to the next thing, because there are some other, you know, perspectives on this. Do you think this was canceled because it was too expensive for Netflix, or do you think it was canceled, or maybe that was the official reason they'll give, but do you think it was actually canceled because the Duffer Brothers just left Netflix for Paramount at a time when clearly Netflix and Paramount are beefing, you know, off and on? So what do you think actually happened?
¿Por qué no los dos? Maybe it was too expensive, and at the same time, oh, these guys jump ship? Okay. Fuck you. We're going to cancel your show. How about that? Eat a dick. So, you know what? I could say, I think it could be both. I think it could be Netflix being fucking petty and just being like, oh, cool. Here we can, but like, oh, but you know, it is running a little expensive for us. We got to funnel that into like the 17 Big Mouth spinoffs that we have and all the other garbage that nobody fucking watches. So why don't we do that? Cool, great, awesome. You know, it's kind of like how like they had 1899, amazing show, and they buried it, and then like, oh, nobody watched it. Okay, cool, cancel it. It's just like it's kind of the obvious.
I really hated that.
Of, like,
you know, I was like really disappointed 1899 did not get another season.
It's you know, we have Dark, so that's okay. But you know,
like 1899 could have been better. Like, you know what I mean? Anyway.
But the thing is, it's just like, you know, it can be like the expensive thing like could mainly be a reason, partially be a reason, but I also think it's like Netflix is petty.
Yeah,
they're
not publicly petty, but like they don't need to give that, you know, nobody needs to say that a quiet thing out loud. But speaking of which, actually, what makes it even like, again, because usually when this kind of thing happens, like the showrunner might get told this news, and then the showrunner gets to tell the actors and then the crew, right? I agree, Dark was good. I like Dark. I just thought like 1899 had more potential, but I'm biased towards space-based sci-fi. Which, if you watch the first season of 1899, you might be wondering what it is. What do you mean by space-based sci-fi?
First season and the only season.
Until you get to the last episode. But anyway, without getting into more spoilers about that, like I mentioned, Gina Davis, as well as the rest of the cast, were just as surprised as the rest of us that the Burrows got canceled. In fact, Gina Davis was saying that nobody got an explanation. We were all terribly disappointed. And then she was saying, I think it's probably rare for a show not to get picked up and have it announced that it's not being picked up while it's still in the top 10. Because, John, the Nielsen ratings came out, and even if you go on Netflix's top 10 right now, this is a top 10 show on Netflix right now if you just go by Netflix's own numbers. But also, according to Nielsen, because their ratings are usually 4 weeks behind, like the reporting is 4 weeks behind, so the show has already pretty much wrapped up its first season. But when it started airing, The Burrows debuted at number 2 overall on Netflix, right alongside one of their other big shows. If you go down in this article, they talk about it. But so it makes, again, I think that gives more credence to the idea that Netflix canceled the show, less so because it was too expensive and more so because the Duffer Brothers have gone over to Paramount. Not to mention, it doesn't help the optics, although they did say this in the other article, that it was more of a coincidence than it was on purpose. But remember, this show got canceled only like days apart from when Paramount just announced that they've dated the first Duffer Brothers movie with them for like 2028, I think it was. We just did a quick hit about it like 2 days ago. So now the other thing is, on June 15th, so basically there's a contract thing as well. So on June 15th, Netflix had a deadline a few days ago on June 15th to pick up the option on all the cast members for another season. Meaning if it was a yay or nay, if they decided to do it, that means they were coming back for a season 2. If they decided not to do it, the show was done, and Netflix just decided not to do it. And then just days later, the Duffer Brothers got a release date announced from Paramount for their first film with the new studio. And here we are, The Burrows got canceled because, of course, this is a show that's produced by Netflix, it's owned by Netflix, it's not like a third-party studio like Sony Pictures Television or Warner Brothers Television. So basically what that means is this show is dead, and it's dead. Like, The Burrows is not coming out anywhere else. It's not gonna get shopped around for another streamer because Netflix were the one producing it in-house. They're the ones who own the IP. So if you were a fan of the show, I mean, hopefully you're able to enjoy the rest of the season, but it does look like, and again, it's not been nobody's gonna ever say it out loud. It does seem like it got canceled, at least in part because the Duffer Brothers just publicly left Netflix for Paramount. What is interesting though, John, the two guys that run television over at Paramount are the guys who originally greenlit Stranger Things for the Duffer Brothers. They used to work for Netflix, and then now they're over there. And not to mention the people that worked to greenlight this show, The Burrows, are the two people now that are in charge of Amazon Prime Video that they used to work for Netflix. Meaning that literally the 4 people that greenlit the previous set of projects with the Duffer Brothers have all left for either Prime Video or Paramount, and the Duffer Brothers are at Paramount. So I understand it. Like, when you don't have that same relationship with the executives, then maybe they're less likely to give you that leeway. They're more likely to be like, oh yeah, the numbers aren't quite there, we're gonna cancel it. Those guys are over at Paramount anyway. Like, it's, to me, like, I think that ultimately is what explains it. So, but yeah, good luck to the Duffer Brothers. They were at Paramount, and then I'm sure Netflix is not short on shows. So yeah, that's The Burrows, and we move on to the quick hits. John, we haven't gotten a rant from you today. I was really hoping for a rant today. I guess you can't make it happen. It just happens when it happens.
Craft
I get it. It's gotta be organic. It's gotta be organic.
Yeah.
But anyway, maybe we'll get one in the quick hits. Let's talk about the quick hits.
But you can get your tickets for Supergirl now, only at theaters IMAX June 26th.
It's wildly entertaining. A total blast, John. Look at those social media reactions. A thrill ride, even. It was most fun movie of the year. Okay. I will talk about more of the reactions later on, but I figured we'd give you
speaking of
preview.
Paramount, Pizza Power first official Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles pizzeria opens in LA.
Yeah.
There's a term we use, nostalgia. Explains the top Paramount exec of the Santa Monica Project, which exults in the aesthetics of the 1987 animated series. It's new for kids, but nostalgic for adults, often their parents. Yeah. How do you do, fellow kids? Give us a Last Ronin movie, you fucking pieces of shit. I get it. We're getting a game. Give us a fucking movie. Fuck you. Anyway. Shut the fuck up, Paramount. Speaking of people that should shut the fuck up, John Byrne. He returns to X-Men, the superheroes that made him famous, to say goodbye, leaving in a blaze of glory. The reclusive creator talks about X-Men Elsewhere, his new and possibly final comics project. He also expounds the worst comic experience and Marvel movies. I'm not Alan Moore, I'll take the money. Which, yeah, makes him a little bit better than Alan Moore, but remember, John Byrne is a transphobic piece of shit, so fuck John Byrne. But cool for this. I don't really care, because John Byrne kind of sucks, and most Marvel comics are kind of crap nowadays. So
Hey, Arcade is gonna go try out that pizza. Let us know how it is. Let us know how it is, Arcade.
But yeah, next up, will Austin Powers 4 ever happen? Franchise mainstays reveal what they know. What we've got to do is cosmically plant a bug in Mike Myers' ear. Clint Howard tells the Hollywood Reporter about his hopes for more from the comedy franchise that return to the zeitgeist with a Verizon ad. We talked about the Verizon ad a couple days ago. So yeah. If it happens, cool. If it doesn't, I'm not losing any sleep. I'm not really a big Austin Powers fan. So
Fair.
Stars to import Russell T Davies' queer thriller Tiptoe, starring our upcoming return of Nightcrawler, Alan Cumming, and then it looks like we've got David Morrissey as well. They are neighbors at war in Channel 4 series from ITV Studios banner Clay Street Productions. So
nice, I
that's
like
cool.
this.
Russell T Davies is already moving on from Doctor Who. So
I don't actually have Stars. I think it's like its own streaming service. So I need to see where.
Don't get me wrong. There are some. I'm not saying all Marvel comics, but like a lot of them kind of stink. Like they had the Ultimate stuff, which was good, and then they're like, yeah, let's not do that at all because we hate our fan base. So, yeah, I've heard the X-Men stuff hasn't been great as of late. But what are you gonna do? Anyway, I probably wouldn't watch this. Nothing against them. It's just like this doesn't really interest me. But yeah, apparently Jurassic World Dominion reportedly topped Star Wars: The Force Awakens as the most expensive movie of all time. And
they have numbers, John. It's wild. Oof. Look at the number for The Force Awakens. Like just for compare. By the way, The Force Awakens, this spent like what if you go up a little bit more, and this includes production and marketing budgets like P&A, as well as the production budget. Disney Lucasfilm spent $638.9 million making The Force Awakens, and Universal spent $658.8 million making the 2022 Jurassic World project. That's the one with Jeff Goldblum and the whole cast coming back, right?
Yep, and it was. Yeah. I've heard it was not good.
I mean, it made $1 billion, but like it barely eked past it. It's just, I mean, look, The Force Awakens at least made like pretty much all this money back and then some. But there should be no movie that should be made for $658.8 million unless it's like Avatar and it's gonna make $3 billion. Even then, like it feels just reckless. Feels reckless to make that. Dude, that's like that's over $500 million. That's ridiculous. That's not even. Superman didn't even make that much money at the box office. Like, it's wild. It's wild. Yeah, it is what it is.
Anyway, you know what else is wild? The Odyssey. Got a featurette and TV spot reveal more breathtaking footage from Christopher Nolan's epic. Yay. I got my tickets to that too, so we'll see.
Oh, I still haven't gotten mine. But, dude, I saw
they're not selling as fast as Spider-Man, but I still wanted to get them just in case. So they're still pretty fast, but Spider-Man, it's like if I didn't get those when I did, gone. So that's okay. But yeah, featurette looking good, looking fun, looking good. Can't wait to see it. But remember, guys, this is gonna fail because there's non-white people in it. Charles Melton, speaking of Matt Damon though, Charles Melton joining Matt Damon in event film from Everything Everywhere All at Once directors. There was the whole thing with like, the Daniels are making their own kind of superhero-esque film, and Charles Melton, who Jeff Snyder claimed was going to be in the running for the new Beast for the new X-Men film, apparently fuck that, he's going to be doing this instead. So yeah, that's pretty cool. But the project, which is described as an event film, marks the pair's follow-up to Everything Ever All at Once. Plot details remain under wraps, but production is expected to begin in Los Angeles this summer. The film's release date was moved from June 12th, 2027 to November 19th the same year. Damon stepped up to replace Ryan Gosling, who left the picture. Grey's Anatomy and Killing Eve star Sandra Oh is also in talks to join the project. Quan Scheinert and Jonathan Wang will produce through their company Playground. So that's cool. I have no fucking clue who this guy is, but I know Matt Damon, and this sounds like it could be good. Yeah. Anyway, Paramount dates tomorrow and tomorrow adaptations starring Daisy Edgar Jones. So apparently that's coming out November 12th next year. So if you give a fuck about that, then
Is that the sequel to like Edge of Tomorrow? Like, you know, because you
no, it's probably some like Gen Z crap. Anyway,
hey, you know what though? I'll watch anything with Daisy Edgar Jones. She was okay in that War the Role show. The show was terrible.
I heard she was good in Twisters as well, but apparently Jeff Daniels to star opposite Brendan Fraser in Josh Wakely's sci-fi thriller Starman. No, this has absolutely nothing to do with the probably going to be much superior John Carpenter film, but this will exist.
Okay. Jeff Daniels.
I like Jeff Daniels. I don't know if I'd watch.
I like
this.
Jeff Daniels too.
A protective and powerful co-leader of a transformational company he built alongside visionary technologist Tom Adams, a man who means far more to Ed than the company itself. So apparently in Starman, Tom Adams is an architect of the future who launches a historic expedition to Mars. Kind of sounds like Eddie Gathegi in For All Mankind, positioning himself at the forefront of humanity's next great frontier. But when unforeseen events strand him millions of miles from Earth, kind of like The Martian, his mission becomes an urgent race against time, driven not by survival alone, but by love. So, yeah, it seems like it could be an interesting sort of movie.
Well, I mean, Jeff Daniels was in The Martian, so, you know.
It works.
Yeah.
Anyway, Ansel Elgort, Halle Bailey, Ludacris, and Alan Rickson among voice cast for animated movie Groove Tales.
Ooh.
Also featuring the voices of JB Smoove, CeeLo Green, and Agnes Mo. The film is being introduced at Annecy. So
anything with Luda, I said that twice. You know, voicing a character, and JB Smoove, CeeLo Green. Hey,
remember CeeLo Green?
Song?
One hit wonder,
like
times.
Is it gonna be like singing and like songs in this? Is it like a musical?
I guess
like,
so. I mean,
okay.
Ludacris, Halle Bailey, JB Smoove, they all Green, sing. So I think JB Smoove was a rapper. But
maybe Alan Rickson sings and we just don't know yet. I don't know. Maybe that's
gross. That sounds like a horrifying nightmare. But cool, I guess. Apparently, Taika Waititi's on Clara and the Sun, his most dramatic movie yet. Apparently, it's based on the Kazuo Ishiguro novel of the same name, and this just seems like a remake of Bicentennial Man, from what I know of it. So. Last movie he did was a shitty remake of Ted Lasso. This is probably going to be an even shittier remake of Bicentennial.
But if you go down, there's an image from the actual first look of the movie. They've talked about this, showed a lot of footage for this at CinemaCon. So I mean, that's Amy Adams, I think. So yeah. Hey, Steven.
That is clearly Jenna Ortega.
Oh yeah, never mind. That's Jenna Ortega. Oh well. Oopsie. I mean, Amy Adams is also in the movie. You just kind of skipped past it, so I was like, maybe that is Amy Adams. I don't know. Maybe 20 years ago.
A Quiet Place duo to direct high-concept sci-fi movie for Amblin. Universal, Scott Beck and Brian Woods have sold a mysterious spec script, which now has Steven Spielberg attached to produce. We're getting more UFO
interesting
stuff.
Okay.
I mean, I know Jerry Bruckheimer and Joseph Kosinski are doing their fucking UFO movie, so maybe it'll be better than Disclosure Day. Who knows?
I can't wait. Give me more UFO movies. I've missed that time in Hollywood's history. And I was around in the 80s, so I'd love to see a lot of these movies in first run at the theater. So yeah, let's keep going.
Cool. Apparently, Survivor animated movie in the works from Paramount Animation. Jeff Probst to executively produce.
They should just remake like that live show where he flubbed and gave away the last elimination on the season.
Set on a remote and mystical island, animals from all around the globe compete for a once-in-a-lifetime chance to be crowned the sole survivor. Damn, they just fucking end this fucking franchise, bro. Nobody gives a fuck about Survivor. I've heard nothing but terrible things about the 50th season. Everyone said that was a massive disappointment. So,
I still have no idea how they managed 50 seasons in like 20 years. Like, how the fuck did they get 50 seasons? This show's not been around since the 70s. Anyway, goes to show you how much I care for this. So, whatever.
Yeah, don't really
good luck to them.
Anyway, Star Wars Darth Maul voice actor was told, "You're the new James Earl Jones," and thought, "Then why are you paying me such shit money, George Lucas?" Damn.
Ooh, called him out to his face. He was on a podcast talking about this, so he kind of shared it in a lot more detail. I'm sure they're okay now.
And this is Peter Serafinowicz, who famous comedy actor. So While Ray Park physically played the Sith villain on the set of George Lucas' directed prequel, Sarah Fenowitz contributed his voice to the part in both Phantom Menace and Solo: A Star Wars Story. It was weird. This character dropped them all. I don't know what I thought. The design of it, I wasn't really into it. When I saw the film, it was the biggest disappointment of my life at that point. It really was. I mean, have you seen it? It was so excited then even being in it, doing this thing. What I thought would be this iconic thing, just unimaginable. I guess it sort of is iconic, I suppose. James Earl Jones has got the best voice of any human ever, right? Then suddenly there I was with George Lucas and he was like, well, Peter, you're the new James Earl Jones. And I was like, fucking hell, am I? And why are you paying me such shit money, George? I fucking love Peter Serafinowicz so fucking much, bro.
I mean, James Earl Jones should have had residuals for his performance too.
And gave it up. It gave it up to Lucasfilm, and they're gonna recreate it with AI because he's an idiot. Anyway, Guillermo. Well,
he's not with us anymore, but yeah.
Well, yeah, no, he gave it up, and now they're gonna fucking use kind of like how Marvel is gonna use Stan Lee.
Well, I mean, like movies. It was his choice. I'm not gonna like judge him for that. But anyway, let's keep going.
But Guillermo.
But yes,
keep saying Guillermo del Toro. That's that's automatically Guillermo
Rodriguez.
Guillermo Rodriguez of Jimmy Kimmel Live joining Dancing with the Stars season 35. Cool. Hope he can dance.
This is gonna be so much fun.
HBO Max cuts prices 40% ahead of House of the Dragon season 3. So
okay, it's rare to see. Like, I don't think I've ever it's super rare to see a streaming service actually cut their prices. The only trick to this is they're cutting their prices 40% for the annual subscription. So you're gonna have to sign up for like a whole year of HBO to get the 40% discount. Of course, they do have House of the Dragon. They have Lanterns coming out in a couple of months. And then, of course, they do have the Harry Potter show. So you're getting decent value. And then, if you stick around long enough, you might get the next season of, like, The Last of Us. So it's not all that bad. I mean, 40% off if you're going to have it anyway. Hi, Filmology. But yeah, there you go. Good for HBO. Giving a discount.
Gross. UFC White House card averages 8 million viewers on Paramount Plus in US, Latin America.
It was a record for the streaming service, so yeah.
I mean, yeah, because because Paramount Plus fucking sucks. So,
Hey, I don't work for them anymore, so I don't have to toe the company line. Let's keep going.
Yeah, I don't want to fucking talk about this. But on the lighter news, Jalen Brunson ends feud with Elmo at New York Knicks NBA championship parade.
Thank God. I mean, come on now.
So yeah, with all of this, Jalen Brunson holds Elmo plush, holding a "Forgive Me, Please" sign.
All right, I think Elmo probably forgave Jalen Brunson. After all, Jalen Brunson just brought the first title to the city.
That's why Jalen Brunson is awesome, and the rest of the fucking New York Knicks fans can fuck off. My God, Elmo just wants to preach love and acceptance, and all the fucking Knicks fans have to be fucking assholes about it.
Well, I'm sure there's not all of them, but anyway.
Yeah.
I didn't think you'd be going off on the Knicks fans for what it's worth, but hey.
But well, I mean, all fandoms can be, certain levels of cancerous, but but not. You're right. Not all of them. Just a lot of them just took it way. It's like, guys, come on. This is some random fucking intern that's being paid like $10 a fucking like week. Doing this shit. It's like,
it's not that bad. Aren't they on HBO now, or is it HBO or Netflix? I think they're on They used to be on HBO, now they're on Netflix. Anyway.
Well, I just mean it's just some random intern who fucking tweeted something out and then it got the.
Oh right, yeah.
Like, come on, guys, this is fucking like somebody fucking took a fucking Elmo plushie, ripped the head off, taped it to a phone pole, and wrote "traitor" underneath. Like, really? Come on. Are you? What are you? Fucking 7? Get out of here. God damn, fucking so stupid. Anyway, speaking of the Knicks, though, Ben Stiller teams with A24 and HBO for New York Knicks documentary, so that's cool.
That's not bad.
Look at his arms, though. A lot of people are still shocked that Ben Stiller can lift, bro, but like, have you seen his career? So,
have you seen him in Dodgeball? I mean, also like HBO is a New York-based organization, and A24 is a New York-based studio. So yeah, hey, it's all about the Knicks, and of course he was at the finals game when the Knicks clinched the title. So, not surprised about this at all. You have John Cena's voice, okay. That's cool.
But then The Glaze, Ryan Gosling to receive 2026 American Cinematic Award. The Project Hail Mary star will be honored at the Beverly Hills Gala on November 2nd. He deserves a Nobel Peace Prize. That's what he deserves because Ryan Gosling is
amazing.
Goat.
Amazing. There you go. That's better than what I could have said it. Cool. I think that's it. That's all the quickest we got.
Damn straight.
Yeah, he's gonna have to learn a thing or two.
Yeah, not to be a fucking little bitch.
Yeah, and pack on like 20 pounds of muscle. Like he needs to have like Giannis summer. Remember when Giannis Antetokounmpo lost, and then he went and that dude is too skinny. Like remember when Michael Jordan was skinny and lost to the Detroit Pistons? It's all the same. It's the same story with all these superstars. Like fucking pack on muscle. Remember when LeBron James bullied Kevin Durant? He still doesn't have muscle, but he could still ball. So anyway, on that note, we're going to move on to DCU Daily. So it's time to get blessed from the beginning.
It's another project that's been blessed from the beginning.
There's the shot right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see
right there.
Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
Now you want to get nuts?
Let's get nuts.
Here we go.
Victory mine. Ask me how am I doing? I'm telling you, really, I'm doing sublime. I never wait in a stewardess line. I just go do it. I'm moving my time. Really had nothing to do with it. How am I moving? I'm moving like you want to shine. Follow my lead. Don't listen to lies. I had to put me all in the line. That's why I know that victory's mine.
I prefer Jared Leto.
Hunka, hunka.
All right, welcome on into another episode of DCU Daily. Of course, we got lots to get into. A lot of Supergirl stuff. We got a lot of Lobo stuff. We got a few quick hits along the way as well. Of course, Peacemaker vying for an Emmy or two because the Emmy nominations got announced, and Peacemaker shooting its shot. So we'll get into all of that and so much more. Supergirl was in London, by the way, today. You know, doing their London premiere. They showed off the first 30 minutes of the movie. So and obviously we have all the Supergirl social media reactions. So, John, which part of all of that are you excited to talk about?
I'm excited to talk about Emilia Clarke's interview on Last Meals because I thought that was kind of funny. I sent that in, so I was like, yeah, I like that. Anyway.
Cool. All right. Well, let's do the quick hits first. You know, the Ducks, Parrots, Pelicans, and DC news. Give Cena the Emmy. I don't know. I mean, there's probably a lot of other good options there, but I'm sure one day John Cena will win an Emmy.
I mean, speaking of, you know, Peacemaker getting awards.
Peacemaker.
You know, Emmy voters, FYC for Best Main Title. Design Peacemaker Season 2 gave us the chance to return to the world we helped build and push it further. And then, you know, kind of a very long thing about the opening. So, yeah.
I still like the Do You Really Want to Taste It? But you know what? The new season had a decent song. It grew on me, you know? So I'm okay with that. First wrestler to get an Emmy. Yeah, I guess he would be. I can't think of another one. Did David Arquette ever win?
Yeah.
Did David Arquette ever win an Emmy? I don't think he did. He was more of an actor turned wrestler, but anyway. He still wrestles, actually, to be fair. He wrestles more than he acts these days. But on that
because the one thing he had, which was Scream, not a thing anymore because he did. So, you know.
Yeah. You know, it is one of the most creative main title sequence design things. So, like, I wouldn't be surprised if they did manage to win this. I mean, that would be big for DC. That'd be quite the coup. So, anyway, let's keep going.
Hey guys, we found a little bit more green. There it is. There's a little bit more green, a little tiny bit.
Very earthy.
There it goes.
Earthy green.
There it goes. Yeah. There it goes. Anyway, now we have I love Jason Momoa, Lobo, just being the king he is. Like, just being like, hey, come on, no, and then he just strikes a move like a king.
Yeah, like, oh, like,
there he is.
Look here, Jason.
Loving this fit right here. Hell yeah, rocking it.
He looks sharp. He looks sharp.
He looks like a sharp dressed man, especially here. Boom, there he is. I like the inflatable balloon in the back with the crest.
That actually is really that's sick. We're gonna see the video version of that later.
Aquaman is
like
great, but
is
Jason
strolled in.
Momoa was literally born to be Lobo. 100%.
I mean, there are more photos in this carousel if you want to go through them. Where we can
Yeah,
admire
sure.
the muscles on the man. Yeah,
The main
it actually
man.
makes it look like that's a little too. That bike is a bit too small on it. It looks comfortable though. Yeah, look at those arms,
I
damn.
guess. But damn.
Yeah, the gun show, bro. Yeah, yep. There you go. That's very much Lobo.
Yes. But
is it looking like last summer's market? Yes, I mean, well, in a good way, yes. There are
upgrade your movie night with crypto, not that kind of crypto, but the good crypto. Flying in for Supergirl, take your cinema experience to the next level at this director's club thing, so you can do all this stuff to get a plushie or something. I don't fucking know.
It's cool. I don't think that this is a theater I can get to. SM Cinemas, but hey, you know what? If you guys live near one of those, then June 27 to 28, available online and over the counter. Cool. Yep. I'll look for it. Anything with plushy crypto.
But Colin Farrell on filming Sugar in Los Angeles, even though tax breaks suck. Tom Cruise's disclosure day invite, and when he starts shooting the Batman 2.
So for this, the only thing that's relevant to DC is the Batman 2 stuff, which is the last 2 paragraphs of this article. If you want to read through that, so that's about it.
Next up for Farrell was reprising the role as the Penguin in Batman 2. He tells me he starts shooting in 3 to 4 weeks, but won't be on set very long. Not as long as I'd like. He continued, but I was spoiled with the show. I got 6 months. Got 6 months out of that suit and that makeup. I did well. Yeah.
I think so. I think he did well. He got an Emmy out of it too. Golden Globe, I think he did really well. Yeah, he's going to be shooting for just a few weeks time, John. Just a few weeks. Because he said it like there's not as big. He doesn't have.
He said he's going to be in 2 scenes, so.
Yeah, which is really not that much. I mean, even in the other movie, you had the car chase and then you had like the thing in the iceberg lounge and like 5 other scenes. So yeah, maybe he will be mayor. Maybe the Penguin season 2 is not dead after all. We'll have to wait and find out. But John, you know what we don't have to wait and find out is what people actually think about Supergirl, because, well, today, and depending on when you're watching, yesterday, the Supergirl social media embargo lifted, which was early. We'll talk about how early, because originally it was going to lift a lot closer to the movie coming out. And usually that's a good thing, because that means the studio is not hiding bad reactions and bad press. So vote of confidence from Warner Brothers and DC. Mm-hmm. But John, do you want to walk us through some of these reactions? We got them from everywhere, and there are some good ones in there. Not all of them are 100% positive, but there are some really good ones. So it's not going to change your life, I hear, but it is a pretty good movie.
So the first reactions, Millie Alcock shines as James Gunn's DC Universe embraces Mad Max vibes. But it isn't a classic, but it's fun, and it hits most of the targets that it aims for. Millie Alcock is great as the titular heroine, and Momoa's Lobo is a blast. Other big wins are the action, humor, and when it leans into physical production. Jermaine Lucier of Gizmodo called the movie highly enjoyable. It doesn't quite have the resonance of Superman, but it acts as both a perfect companion and follow-up to that movie, and better characters and more complex relationships. It's incredibly emotional, which makes the action hit even harder. Mike Ryan said the movie looks and plays more like a Mad Max movie with dirty worlds, gross villains, and a self-destructive hero.
Ooh, I like that. That's the
so like the that. I mean, guys, if like George Miller could direct a Supergirl movie, that would have been awesome.
That would have been awesome.
So, Supergirl's not at all what I was expecting. I too assumed superhero space movie Needle Drops would have a similar tone to Guardians of the Galaxy or Superman. Instead, it looks and plays more like a Mad Max movie, and what he said before. So these are all the original tweets. Supergirl is everything I want it to be. Girls can be messy, and that rules. Kara isn't her cousin, and I really loved how this movie makes that clear. She's a different kind of hero and perfect in every way. If you threw Guardians of the Galaxy, True Grit, and Mad Max into a DC blender, you'd get Supergirl, a grimy, funny, yet surprisingly somber space adventure. Millie shines, especially when we get into Kara's tragic backstory, but Jason Momoa is having the fragging time of his life as Lobo. Mm-hmm. This person says that it was a mixed bag. As a fan of the comic, I was perhaps overly excited for the film adaptation. While both of them shine, some adaptation choices and a bland villain keep it from greatness. It's simply put just fine. but this person isn't a classic, but it's pacey fun and hits most of the targets it aims for.
That's a
Production
good
and costuming
prediction.
designs are thumbs up. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's nice.
I mean, I did hear that the villains are a little bland, which I think that's something
That's
we've
kind of
heard
what
before.
the test screenings
Yeah.
said a bit.
But I mean, it's like creme of the yellow hill. What else did you expect? You know,
It's not like it's going to be like a big Supergirl villain, even though there's
No.
not many big Supergirl
Not at all.
villains. So.
And I mean, speaking of the reactions, Jalen saying Supergirl could have an 87% Rotten Tomato score and an 89% audience score.
I'll try to write that down.
Yeah, that's a pretty good prediction. If that's actually what ends up happening, then the movie will be just fine. Like, it will be just fine. 89% audience score is pretty solid. 87% from critics is really good. Yeah, the graphics, you mean the VFX?
Yeah, the VFX, the CGI.
Yeah.
Graphics
Nice
are like
space
for,
ROM.
video
Right.
games. So
Yeah, you know the 2016 Suicide Squad had great graphics, because they had all those introductions to each of the characters.
Yep. Brandon Davis, who is a famous, kind of pretty famous interviewer, he said the movie soars at times, though it has to do so through a scattered adventure, which is at best in moments of touching dialogue. At its best in moments of touching dialogue. And Noguera wrote a few banger lines of dialogue here. Kara's arc payoff could have benefited from better story structure, but Millie Alcock is great. Practical elements and Lobo are standouts for sure. The creatures
Harold.
and a few action sequences look really great. The tone and story kept me from feeling like I fully connected with the movies in the ways I thought that I would, but I did enjoy it. Ultimately, I wanted and expected to love it. After watching, I would say that I liked it. So
Okay. All right. Well, hey, you know what? Good for Brandon. I mean, and doesn't mean that you will have the same experience. Everybody will have a different experience with the movie, and what maybe was just good for Brandon might be amazing for you, or it might be terrible for you. But that's okay. That's how we do it. Yeah. This is, by the way, I was mentioning earlier that the social media embargo was originally going to lift a week from now, basically the Thursday night or Thursday morning, the day that the previews would start, and they moved it forward by a week. So that is a big vote of confidence for Warner Brothers, because they felt confident that the movie was going to get positive reviews.
Jalen.
So yeah, I mean, if the worst thing that people have said is that the villains felt bland, then I think we're fine, because like of the first 3 phases of the MCU, I feel like 8 out of 10 movies had bland villains. You know, like if you asked me to name iconic villains from the first 2 phases of the MCU, I'd be like Loki, Thanos, depending on how well you liked the guy from the first Guardians movie that Lee Pace played that I forgot the name of.
Ronan the Accuser.
Ronan the Accuser. But like, are there really like very iconic villains and all? And then a bunch of those movies did really well, and a lot of people loved them, and the critics liked them. So like, it's okay. Like, not every movie needs to have a Joker level villain or a Lex Luthor level iconic performance kind of thing, you know. So if that's the worst of it, then I think we should be okay. Hi, Terrence. Yeah, the movie should do okay. He's saying good reviews out so far. Yeah, remember, these aren't reviews, Movie Spud and everybody else. These are first reactions, so they aren't giving you a full review. Brandon Davis give you still ultimately a reaction. It's not a full review, because that embargo will lift soon, but it hasn't yet.
Right. And also I wanted to mention a couple of these that didn't show in the other article. Supergirl is the superhero movie I missed. A straightforward, poignant story with lots of emotion, especially when we see Kara through little Ruthie's eyes. Luckily, that's every action scene. Millie Alcock absolutely owns the role and will change our idea of Supergirl forever. Supergirl is everything I wanted it to be. Girls can be messy, and that rules in. So that was the Mary Sue one. Supergirl is a solid follow-up to last year's Superman, more serious and emotionally heavier in tone. It delivers a cool intergalactic road trip that evokes Guardians of the Galaxy with a dash of Mad Max Fury Road and a bit of Thor: The Dark World. Not a good comparison, so try not to have that aspect. But I didn't hate Thor: The Dark World like a lot of other people did, but that's just me. Millie Alcock is a total badass.
That's like the third time somebody's compared it to Mad Max, though.
Delivering a performance that's both fierce and vulnerable as Kara Zor-El. Can't wait to see her in future interactions with her cousin and other heroes in the DCU. Keep them coming. So Supergirl soars. Alcock is the perfect Kara. This film is filled with gorgeous set pieces and dazzling action sequences. Momoa is Lobo, but I wanted more of him. The scenes with Clark are priceless. Third act is effing fun. The future is bright with this Supergirl. So Supergirl channels the energy of Gunn Superman while carving out its own identity, surprisingly dark themes, Mad Max vibes and a John Wick style
Mhm.
motivation drive the story. Alcock shines, and Momoa brings his trademark chaotic charm. Millie Alcock is a Kryptonian powerhouse and the perfect Kara Zor-El. Millie Alcock steps into the role of Supergirl wonderfully, and it's refreshing to root for a heroine with a unique hard edge. Supergirl is the best blockbuster of the summer. Terrific. Well, come on. Well, we'll see when Odyssey and Spider-Man come in, but for now, it is terrific action, but what sells it is the heart and the characters. Millie Alcock is a force to be reckoned with. Eve Ridley is also incredible, and Jason Momoa is perfect, pitch perfect as Lobo, one of the best DC films. All right, calm down. Supergirl starts off as a slow burn, but once it finds its footing, it soars. Millie Alcock is incredibly relatable, bringing heart, vulnerability, and strength to Kara's journey of embracing her imperfections and discovering the power within. The film balances emotional character growth with some truly epic action sequences. While Jason Momoa's Lobo is an absolute scene stealer, he was born to play this role. Unfortunately, Supergirl is a mixed bag for me. As a fan of the comic, okay, so that's what that's the other person. They said mixed bag. So what? What's so funny? Yeah, I like some things about the Dark World. Like it wasn't like the fucking ultimate cancer, but it was like, it was like generic and forgettable, but it wasn't terrible.
It's a bit underrated because it's not like, I think just saying it's a terrible movie is not giving it enough credit, but also saying that it's brilliant is giving it too much credit. So I will say though, my counter for how many times somebody compared it to Mad Max is like 4 or 5 now. So, and I'm sure there's more out there, reactions where people are comparing it to Mad Max. Greb is saying, I have a feeling Supergirl will be a better movie than Brand New Day. I love Spider-Man, but that movie sounds like a mess. I don't know. I feel like I'm buying into what they're selling us. There's a lot going on, but it feels like they're still keeping the focus on Spider-Man, which as long as they do that, like Supergirl, like, the focus has to stay on the titular hero. What else do we got here? Comicbookmovie.com.
Yeah,
also put
just
together
kind of like last vestiges of stuff, but
yeah. Okay. What did John say? John,
hopeful going in, even with a few reservations. I love Craig Gillespie's work, and I was excited to see Millie Alcock take on this role. But for me, Supergirl felt bland, and I left wishing she had been given stronger material to show what she can really do. So Millie Alcock steps into the role of Supergirl wonderfully, and it's refreshing to root for a heroine with a unique hard edge.
He did say, unfortunately, the film around her takes too long. What was it? What was the rest that he was saying? If you go down, unfortunately, the next one after this.
Unfortunately, the film around her takes far too long to step into gear and never quite matches her energy. So some people say Millie Alcock's like, the best part of it, but sometimes not. So
yeah. I feel like the big themes for all these reactions have been that the movie's fun, very much like Mad Max. You got some Guardians vibes. Millie Alcock is a breakout. Lobo is Lobo, and the villains are a bit bland, but you get a lot of big action set pieces. The movie's like an hour 50 minutes, so it must really just go once it gets going. So you know what, I'm okay if the rest of the movie's bland, because as long as they got the right person for the role, I mean, they'll do more projects with her. Like and like I said, the box office
Man
matters,
of Tomorrow is
already
destined
reaction
to come out. So
exactly, and we know Millie Alcock's in that movie because like she was filming in Atlanta as Supergirl, so we know that she's gonna have a future in this DC universe regardless. So yeah, if the worst you can do is bland, then we're fine. And then we gotta wait for the reviews. We'll see what the Rotten Tomato score is like, and obviously what people.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's Spider-Man versus a character people barely know.
No, Spider-Man's gonna make a lot more money. Like there's anybody that tells you any different clearly does not know what they're talking about. But like, I don't think Supergirl's bar for success is the same as Spider-Man. This is gonna be what, like the 8th or 9th live action Spider-Man movie. This is only the.
It would be like, comparing like,
so,
Batman is gonna make more money than a Plastic Man movie. It's like, yeah, no,
water is wet.
Shit, dude.
Exactly.
Like, are you stupid? Like, hello.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
You also got to remember, you're comparing, a Brand New Day, which is the 4th movie with this iteration of Spider-Man with Tom Holland, to the first time you're seeing Millie Alcock as Supergirl. So this movie is going to need to, crawl before the next one can walk, and then the one after that can fly, right? So metaphorically speaking, of course. So it's an apples to oranges comparison. That's why I think we shouldn't compare the two. Like the two of them have their own journeys. A rising tide does raise all ships, literally, like Nolan's gonna do with the Odyssey. And
I mean, yeah, that would be great. Plastic Man I wouldn't
We've
reveal
already
who I
done that
want.
so many
I'm
times
not.
in a lot of our
you know who I
Fancast
would.
Fridays.
I won't reveal who I want because you motherfuckers have to vote for it in a Fancast Friday. So I will only reveal my favorites for the role.
Although we have done like reverse fan castings, and Plastic Man has been on like 2 or 3 of them, so I feel like we have had quite a few options put out there anyway. I will say though, it is exciting to see a Supergirl movie that doesn't feel like the character is a Superman derivative. Like they are positioning her as her own Justice League level superhero. So yeah, let's keep going, John, because beyond just the reactions, we have a ton of marketing for the movie. The new Chinese trailer, by the way, revealed a ton of new footage. There's so many action shots in there, which aren't the same action shots that every other ad spot has been putting out there. If you go down to the trailer, I don't know if you're able to kind of skip across the video, but there, I saw it on X because in China, but you look at some of the footage. There's stuff in here that we haven't seen in any of the the US or other Western commercials. There's some extensions of sequences we have seen, but there's some new dialogue that you're seeing. They do extend. They kind of give you a much better idea of like Eve Ridley's relationship with Supergirl, and in terms of Eve Ridley as in who plays Ruthie, and how Ruthie also at one point is going to get the sword out and fight, and it also shows you a sequence in the space bus where Ruthie gets into a fight with one of the other aliens and literally has her head being trampled by another alien, and Supergirl's kind of hesitant to get involved. So it's not like Kara just jumps in to help her out. She's really reluctant, but eventually obviously they go on this adventure together. So those are things that we haven't seen in any of the other trailers and marketing, and I was excited to see that this Chinese trailer showed it. And in the world with the internet, it doesn't matter if you're in China or not, I guess you can get a hold of that trailer. So yeah. And then one of you guys were mentioning in the chat earlier, I think several of you, they released a new behind the scenes featurette with Superman, like David Cornsweet. John, if you go to that one, that had a lot of good information, because one of the things that mentioned was, like, at one point David Cornsweet literally said January 2025, day one, which we already knew day one, this is the first thing they shot for Supergirl, was the stuff with David Cornsweet. And it was January of last year.
January 9th specifically.
January 9th. They did say though they weren't in Norway, they were in the UK. But it does look like they were outdoors, John. Like it does look like they were on actual, like you were saying, it doesn't look real. I think it looks like it was a mix of them filming on location somewhere in the UK and then a little bit in like the volume. So that's exciting. I mean, again, more physical production, less green screen stuff. So that looks nice. So that must mean they shot pretty much all the Superman stuff early on, because he's probably not that. Other than that, he's mostly doing like the Zoom calls with her. So
yeah. And then the SFX magazine. It would be funny if they put pose. I would imagine that they tried their best to crop Supergirl in a way so that her head is not in front of the F, so it looks like sex. But so they very much, managed to keep her head next to the F,
just
so
across as SFX. Yeah.
But yeah, this looking pretty damn good.
Looking cool. I like the pose. We haven't seen that.
You know what else is looking good? That foreskin drink cup. Hell yeah, bro.
Dude, Liz sent me the other day and she was like, "Oh no," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, it's there." Dude, scrub across, because they even actually show you how you can fit popcorn into that S symbol, which looks kind of nice.
Oh yeah, and then the fucking how you can fit popcorn into this fucking
you gotta take Lobo off of it first.
5 fucking
and kernels of popcorn. Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, why is I don't know, like, why is the Trojan horse getting a fucking popcorn bucket, but not Matt Damon's head? Like, what? Fucking
Liz would love that. I think Liz actually wanted Matt Damon's head.
We all want Matt Damon.
And I became the Kool-Aid man. What did I become the Kool-Aid man? What did I say?
But you got the foreskin.
Wait, do they have the photo of the back of it? I don't think they show you the back
don't.
of
I
it.
think they managed.
They don't.
I think they managed that on purpose too.
I'm like, how did nobody notice that shit? That color is it's the color. Don't you think it's the color that throws you off?
Also, I really like this. It's
like a purse.
Different.
It's like a side.
It's like you can hold your popcorn in like a little thing. Like I love that. Like out of all I would get the drink cup for the lulz, and then I would get the bag for too, because I like that. Again, I got Lobo on the Foreskin Cup. You know.
Oh, I did say. Oh yeah. Okay.
Crypto.
I like crypto on top of that. That's hopefully that will stop people from
let's
doing
not
weird
put
things to the cup.
crypto on top of Foreskin. Hello. But here he is. There you go. You got the plush.
Oh, by the way, M2G saying the full review embargo does lift on Wednesday morning. So yes, we will be talking about the reviews on Wednesday night show. So yes, we got a little, 5 days to go. There you go, some video of them, all the merch.
Yeah, Supergirl in 1 week, and of course this guy has to be a fucking asshole. But yeah, this is looking good.
I like it. That'd be a dangerous place for me to go. I'd spend a lot more money than I should on things.
And then this guy opening stuff and getting those little
KFC collectibles
things.
Good old if you go to KFC, you get the meal deal. I like them. I like the Lobo one.
I could make a joke right now, but I won't. But yeah, these look cool. Like I like how I just noticed that the keychain, the thing that latches on is the super. I just noticed that it's the crest too.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's nice. Oh, crypto's cute. Like it. Love crypto.
Yeah. And then here she is on Millie Alcock sits down for last meals, which is fun because I've never sat down and watched an entire last meal.
It's fun,
but
they're genuinely pretty fun.
But yeah, it's just like it's a lot. These things are like fucking like 80 minutes long and all that stuff.
Not really. Figure drawing,
but yeah, it looks like she has a good selection too.
It does.
But yeah, you got like fucking oysters and dirty martini and all that shit. That steak free, that looks good. Well, I don't know if it's that specifically steak free, but
it still looks good though.
I would
take that right now. That shit looks hot.
And the food looks good too.
Thank you, John.
And I'm talking about Josh. Josh is sexy, all right? But that's not the only thing. Your boy asked about Lobo, and he's like, how much of it is just Jason's actual personality? So she's like, no comment. She's like, he's so good as Lobo that like he transforms into the role.
Lobo, just stuff. Jason Momoa's actual personality.
Yeah, no comment. No, but he's so good. He's so good as Lobo that like you don't see Jason. I think that's what happened to me when I watched the film. I was like, oh my god, he was born to play this part, genuinely.
And you could tell that she's kind of losing her accent a little bit because she was like kind of going in and out.
Yeah.
Like her Australian accent was kind of not as at the forefront.
Yeah.
But
love it.
Yeah,
and she's just very. She's Gen Z, right? She's very. You could tell like the way she does press and stuff. She's like David Cornsweet is a different kind of like vibe on the red carpet than she is. Very different, and again, I think that's part of what makes her the perfect, actor to play.
Yeah, I know. I know people already fucking shit on her because she was talking about like the gender identity of Supergirl, and people were like giving her shit for it. And it's just
like I don't like just fucking mind your own.
So
it's not in the movie. It's not in the movie.
Like,
who
she actually made
a
fair point. Like, I don't think she meant it by this, but she was talking about like the whole like idea of like queer identity with Supergirl. Yeah. But like thinking about it, whether she meant it like this or not, I'm like, it makes sense though. Like, obviously, aliens are not going to have the same type of gender identity.
It's like Themyscira and the Amazons. Like it's there's got to be a difference.
Yeah,
like apparently Superman's Kryptonian parents thing, having a harem is a good thing. So like obviously cultural differences.
Like, I mean, Wonder Woman is canonically bi in the comics.
That's true.
So.
That's true, and I'm sure that James Gunn knows about that. So maybe
I don't know if Supergirl is. I mean, it wouldn't shock me. Like she, and plus they've kind of done certain things with the character like over the years where she's like kind of she's like younger, trying to figure out herself, especially not. As herself. So like it works. Like if she's like experimenting with stuff, that makes sense too. So
she's tried. I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means either, but sure.
Hey, they just want Clark to repopulate. Nothing wrong with that. You know what? Eric? I'm not even going to respond to that.
We don't talk about Jalen. We don't talk about Comet. We don't talk about Comet.
Comet. Okay.
Shut up. I know you know. I know, and you know, and we all know. Just we don't talk about that. You'll try anything.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's great. That's great. Okay. All right. On that note, John, let's move on to talking about Supergirl in London, because today was a London fan event.
Yeah.
They're not really calling it a premiere, but there was a fan event, and Millie Alcock looking pretty damn
and
beautiful.
Eve Ridley sneaking up on her, kind of like with Jason Momoa and Henry Cavill. Like, not quite that bad, but you know.
Of course, they weren't the only ones there, John. With the Power Duo reunited. I mean, they actually had quite a few fans there dressed up as Supergirl. So you got Supergirl meeting Supergirl on the red carpet. And
I think someone... Oh, and they're wearing a Power Girl outfit. The girl behind her is wearing a Power Girl.
Oh, I didn't even notice that
cosplay.
until now. Okay, damn. There's
Love
a Lobo back there too, actually.
Yeah,
we'll get to that
Jason
later.
Momoa took a picture with him. We'll get to that soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, full throttle at Marble Arch. But
oh yeah,
yeah. Oh my
Lobo
god,
likes the horsepower. Yeah,
the fucking alien Sons of Anarchy over here.
Isn't this basically the video that he used to announce that he's done filming his stuff on Supergirl last year? Like, he did a whole video where he posted a GoPro on his bike and rode through London. He's like, I just wrapped up Supergirl, yeah. And then like a year later, they're like, let's do that again, and like walk up to the red carpet or the blue carpet.
Yeah. Oh, and this is him like
there's
taking
the
a
Lobo.
selfie with the Lobo. There,
I like that Lobo. Looks like the Lobo from the Krypton show, because he's got the white face paint and body paint.
Yeah.
And, like sleeves on, the whole thing.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
And your boy got let out of jail for a little.
I was gonna
attend
say.
the premiere.
Matthias Schoenaerts. I didn't even recognize him.
Why are you wearing a Yankees cap? Get out of here.
I don't get it. It's whatever. Yeah, nobody.
Yeah, but your boy, let out of jail for a hot sec. Where's his parole officer? Able to attend the premiere. I thought somebody thought it was Dave Bautista. That's funny.
That would not be a valid comment 10 years ago, but sure. I was like, who the hell is this guy? Did somebody just jump the barricade? I'm like, no,
that's what I thought, because as I'm with you, I saw the video first, and then I saw the description next to it.
He's gonna hat on. Okay.
Yeah, Matthias Schoenaerts.
Alien Sons of Anarchy. Yeah, take notes.
Here, you can't really see anything here, but I mean, it could be covered by his pants.
It could be. Maybe he's got a subcutaneous tracker. Hey, Chuck Rod. He's wearing the ankle bracelet. Is he? We can't really tell. It's hard to tell. Yeah. And
then the trio. God, Jason's
it was like a traffic violation.
He's so fucking tall. Goddamn, bro.
He's huge.
I just love Jason Momoa. I feel like he's just a guy that like somebody found, and he's like, yeah, sure, I'll act in your movie. And now he's just living his best life. He's making millions of dollars. He's playing the character that he loved as a kid. He's banging Audra Arjona. This dude is living his best.
He's a tall drink of water, that's for sure.
And he's tall. He probably has a big dick too. Honestly, I wouldn't put it past him. Like,
Wasn't he with Zoe Kravitz's mom for a while?
Yeah, that too. Banger. Bang her. Hello. But now we have Matthias is here. I don't see no ankle monitor, but Eve Ridley, Peter Safran, Millie, Jason, and Craig Gillespie. They're the talk of every galaxy.
Peter Safran, man.
Speaking of the talk of the galaxy.
Oh yeah. Tall drink of water. Ooh, yeah. I mean, she's there.
Well, she's not tall.
Her man.
That's the thing. She's 5'7".
No. I was she's got good taste because she's got Jason Momoa by her side.
Right.
Sure,
okay. Because I was gonna say, because I know a friend of mine. She's like, I hope that Adria Arjona is not Wonder Woman. Fuck her. I don't want her as Wonder Woman. She would be terrible. She's done nothing to prove she can be Wonder Woman, and she's short. I'm like, calm down.
Just calm down, dude. I'm like, that could be Wonder Woman right there. That dress, she's clearly in great shape. We've talked about that before, and she probably is out there because either she's waiting for when James Gunn comes over to shoot whatever they're gonna film for Man of Tomorrow in the UK, because they will get there eventually, or she's just there filming other stuff before she gets there. Dude, 5'7" is tall for a woman that's like above average height in America.
But she's supposed to be an Amazonian, so she has to be even taller.
No. I wish we had better photos of that dress. Anyway, we'll stick with what we
All
have.
right, keep it in your pants, Dan. But here we have.
I'm not the only one. Jalen probably wants to see it too. There you go. See, actually, Keep Walking, the view is very nice. There you go. I was asking on behalf of a friend, John. There's a photo dump.
Also, loving the you got the Newsies hat, the colored sunglasses,
the
suit.
You gotta zoom in a little bit though. Like you got like a huge. Why is this showing weird? Okay.
But he's got the New Balance.
Yeah.
Honestly, props to him. I actually got a pair of sneakers today in the mail, New Balance.
Comfy. These are long days. Yeah.
Unfortunately, it was too narrow for my foot, so I had to return them. But I'm getting another pair on Saturday. So and tomorrow. Well, now today, but yeah. Hell yeah, bro. Eve Ridley looking wonderful. Matthias, it doesn't look like he has an ankle
walked off
monitor.
the street. I think he's fine, John. I think he's fine. He literally does look like he just walked. He's got a hat on. I'm like, he's like Kevin Feige in this thing.
So
No, but it's not the same thing. It's not like a baseball cap. Like Craig Gillespie's got like, what do they call that? Like
the Newsies
he looks
hat,
classy.
whatever the fuck.
He looks classy. I mean, James is in there because he's filming in Atlanta. I don't even think he's going to be in there the New York one. I don't know if they're going to Atlanta. I think James, this is perfect. This is a perfect example of why, like, having co-CEOs, you can kind of use that to your advantage. Peter Safran's doing all the press tour stuff with Craig Gillespie, and like he even gave away the Gorilla Grodd TV series news the other day. So in Rio, and meanwhile James Gunn is filming, so it makes sense. I'm sure James Gunn is going to be out there promoting Man of Tomorrow because he won't be filming another movie next year. So it's hard for James Gunn to fly out all the way to London because like he will miss a whole shoot day. Like it's not like it's an hour hop across the ocean. It's like a 7-hour flight there, 7 hours back, and everything in between. So it is nice to see though, like Peter Safran's out there and everybody else, they're doing a good job. Do you have anything else? We have
a little bit. This person, Kyla Polintan. She saw the first 30 minutes. She's like, hell yeah! From the footage we saw, feels like the movie was made for her and all that kind of stuff. So
she was really excited. So she wasn't obviously the only one. All the fans that got to be at the Supergirl event in London, they got to see the first 30 minutes of the movie, and then after that, they did a Q&A session with everybody who was in attendance, which we just talked about and saw. So fans got to ask some questions. It was a fun environment in the theater, and the first 30 minutes, I mean, these folks didn't get to see the whole movie. I think the LA screening was for the entire film. So, but it's again, they've done a press screening on the Warner Brothers lot already, like a couple of weeks ago. They're giving more of a first look to a lot of fans. If you saw the first 30 minutes, it's probably giving you enough of an idea that you're gonna go to the next, the opening night. So. Yeah. Oh yeah. Peter Safran always looks dapper. Like I wish I had the tailor that he's probably got, but Lobo loves horsepower. That's I guess where we'll wrap it up. Getty Geek. Getty Images has an Instagram account. I didn't know that. Makes sense though. It wasn't even him. They just had like a whole group of bikers riding around with him. That looks nice. Love it. Love it. John, we didn't even get a rant from you. We actually did get a couple of rants from you. It was nice. It's going to add up to a great end of week recap tomorrow. Well, post-credit scenes, I'm not surprised we haven't heard about them because, again, anybody who has seen the whole movie isn't allowed to talk about it yet. And
on top of the fact,
James
Gunn doesn't really like,
Yeah. Like, he doesn't want any post-credit scenes that become must-watch to understand something that's going to be coming in the next movie. Like, the one from Superman were pretty inconsequential. So, yeah. We probably will get one or two, but we don't know yet how many the movie has. But don't worry, Jalen. In the next few days, we'll find out if they do have a post-credit scene, how many, and what they're about. Supergirl also likes horsepower. Thank you. Thank you for that. And yeah. All right. Well, I mean, I think that does it for us tonight. Tomorrow we'll be back. It's a Friday double. John, do you actually have the poll for Fancast Friday up? If you could quickly take a peek. Last I checked, somehow FIFA World Cup star biopics is still winning.
Fuck you guys. Like, first Pirates for Mount Rushmore, now this. You guys suck with the polls. Honestly, at this point, I say end the polls, just we decide on what we want to do. Because this is dog shit, guys. You guys have some sucky ass fucking choices for this shit.
I mean, the World Cup is happening. I'm sure some people want to see.
Yeah,
We
but
could.
like fuck the World
Do
Cup.
you want to make the exception? We do the Lobo director tomorrow or Jessica Cruz, and then we'll do like
No,
World Cup
it's
stars.
fine.
As, like,
You
a
guys
second
can
thing.
do
It's,
FIFA. FIFA. That'll all be you, buddy. That's all you. I literally can't. I can't. Like I can't. Like,
I know. I'm not
3
blaming
soccer
you.
players.
I'm not blaming you.
So I have no like credit. I have no knowledge of this. This isn't my thing.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah. There you go. That's how Arcade feels about sports. Cool. Well, tomorrow we'll also have the end of week recap. We'll put together all John's best rants of the week into one. It's gonna be fun, and I can't wait because we got some special stuff planned.
Make sure it's a little bit
until
shorter
then,
this
guys,
time. I don't want you to kill yourself.
No, I know, like not 20 minutes. Well, yeah, if I had more time, I could have cut it down. That's the thing. It actually, like, but yeah, we'll make it shorter. It was fun though. 20 minutes of you basically ranting. Maybe the exception, I'm convinced Yash is. I don't know. Yeah, maybe the ghost of Yash is doing it. But if you guys haven't voted, please change your vote to not be FIFA. Or if you did vote FIFA, I don't know. It's fine. You guys have your choice. We'll do what you guys want us to do. Yeah. Anyway, Martian Manhunter. Oh yeah, it's actually not being. It's for after 2 weeks of being second. It's coming in fourth. So
yeah.
Anyway.
We'll
see you guys.
Be blessed, guys. See you later. Have a good one.
It's another project that's been blessed from the beginning.
There's the shot right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see.
Right there.
Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
Now you want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. Here we go.
Victory mine. Ask me how am I doing? I'm telling you, really, I'm doing sublime. I never wait in a stewardess line. I just go do it. I'm moving my time. Really had nothing to do with it. How am I moving? I'm moving like you want to shine. Follow my lead. Don't listen to lies. I had to put me all in the line. That's why I know that victory's mine.
I prefer Jared Leto.
Hunka hunka.
And remember, fuck Tom King, Jeff Snyder, and the chode with lips himself, David Ellison.